It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers off her. What the fucking chance? Premeditated batter. Premeditated batter.
So
That's a fair bit. What grade are you?
I'm just a blue belt, mate. See, at the end of the day, see, the thing is, mate, like, I'm not motivated by belts. I during a lot of the time I was training jiu-jitsu, I was doing MMA as well. So you're kind of having to train. You can't give all your time to jiu-jitsu. Do you get what I mean? So you're spreading it across other things. And see nowadays, mate, how especially it's going with nogi, people that don't train in the pyjamas, basically. It's a lot more about just how good you are and the amount of time you've been training as opposed to your grade. That's what people care about more. So
Because that's what you find a lot of places. The gi it's kind of dying out to a degree.
have you trained before yourself?
I went to the 10th planet once.
Oh,
and I get pure beasted.
A couple of the guys have left and came to the place I'm at now at
Where'd you go?
Marcos Nardini's, MNBJJ. I was at the Grip House for years, but I'm at MNBJJ now after a couple of years.
What grip house did you used to go to?
Well, the Grip House Southside doesn't exist anymore. It's only
One
the
that
Grip
was
House
in
on Maryhill
Shawlands?
Road. Aye, it's the
Is that
fitness
away,
one's
aye?
It's not been there for 4 or 5 years, mate.
Has it
maybe
no?
longer.
No, because that would have been out. Because
I
I
would
was
still maybe do some kickboxing classes or something, but it's no like the Grip House Southside anymore. It's just not.
I
hanging
heard
there.
the grip house. See the one up the town. It's like you're in there and it's like you generally never mind swing a cat cast if I can throw a punch in there. See with the bags, you're just
Aye.
shoulder to shoulder with people. So I was thinking
Busy.
about doing MMA. See, just doing for the kind of fitness side because you watch that. I get into like watching like the UFC at first,
Aye, of
and then I
course.
was looking. I was like, some degree of fitness. Because see, when you try doing like jiu-jitsu yourself, think about rolling about with somebody, the fucking life breathed out of you. Then you're out fucking trying to throw punches at somebody
Aye.
again. It's a different level.
Aye, it's a whole different sport, mate. And see, the thing is, see what other sports. See, if you're playing football and there's a ball there, you can choose to run for that ball.
Uh-huh.
When you're fighting, you don't get to choose if somebody's
No,
punching you in the
definitely
fucking
not.
head, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing that's like hard for some cunts to understand. It's like a different type of fitness, mate. It's like forced fitness sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
You never think about getting back to competing?
I'll compete in jiu-jitsu. Aye, 100%.
Aye,
I'll grapple
jiu-jitsu.
again, yeah, definitely, but never MMA again. Not.
Oh, did you actually compete in the
I had
MMA
like
then? Aye?
6, 7 MMA fights.
Did you? Aye?
Aye.
What are you 6-0?
No, fuck. I was like 4-2. Aye, it was 6, 4-2.
That's actually still decent,
It's
but for
reasonable,
MMA,
mate.
innit?
Aye, it's reasonable. I'm fine with that. But I'll compete in jiu-jitsu again, but I won't fight MMA again, mate.
Aye.
Nah, I can't be arsed, mate.
I could imagine it is. It's like you need to kind of you kind of half-arse it. You can't go part-time MMA. It's not like boxing. You can kind of work a job. You need to kind of put your all into it if you don't want your arse kicked.
You need to wake up in the morning and want to fight. If you don't wake up in the morning and have that desire to fight, go back to bed, mate. Like, just that's when you need to accept. Actually, I'm no in this 100% anymore.
Because I feel the people see most of the guys that do MMA, but maybe no now. But see, back when it was first, kind of maybe about 10 years ago, before I started getting into it, you realise a lot of the guys you would meet that were doing MMA, they were fucking nuts. They were all nutters. So
Mate,
it's
see
like,
the characters you meet in martial arts gyms around the world. I've trained in Japan, America, the UK, Ukraine, France. Like, name a country, I've probably trained there, right? Obviously minus pure obscure one, Zimbabwe or something. But you meet the maddest cunts you've ever met, and that's the thing I love about grappling, mate. Is see if you go into a night where cunts are just rolling, right? You will find a lawyer, a screw, somebody that's maybe been a lifer before and got out. Like, you will find every single person possible in that room. Students, gay people, whatever. It's a pure accepting place. It's just like, as long as you're there to train hard, it doesn't matter. That's the thing I love about that. It just brings every cunt together, mate.
Aye.
That's the best thing about it.
a lot of people leave like their lives outside the door to get involved in it.
Aye.
Yeah, as it's dead, it's humbling because I went into it and then I feel that I'm quite big, I'm quite heavy.
How much do you weigh?
About 16 stone, so what's that, about 100 odd key?
Aye.
Is that right?
Big,
Roughly
mate.
about
Aye.
that. But
You're bigger than I expected, mate. I was like, oh fuck,
Everybody
some
says
size,
that.
mate.
Aye,
No,
everybody
I thought you were small, but I was just like, fucking hell, you're some size,
I'm tall
mate.
and it's kind of
Aye.
shock because you know what tells. I've always got the camera up to my face like
Aye,
that.
your camera's fucking here all the time.
I'm wearing my camera like a necklace. But I went to the 10th planet because my pal Matt, the
Antonine
producer-
MMA, that's where it was, wasn't it? Antonine
Aye,
MMA was
well,
the 10th planet.
because it was, I think that it was the Antonine Sports Centre or some shit
Aye,
like that, and I
that's
think
what
they
it
done
was
the 10th
called.
planet in there because
Aye.
the guy Stevie, he got his black belt
Stevie
fed.
Thompson.
Stevie Thompson, aye. Do you know Stevie?
I know of him because I
Like-
commentate a lot of shows.
Oh, do you? Aye?
Yeah, I'll commentate grappling like events and stuff like that, and MMA events in Glasgow. So I see him and I knew of him. And this is the thing, anybody for 10th Planet who's fucking watching this, I'm going to dish yous for 1 minute and then be nice. When 10th Planet first came to Glasgow, all of us at the Grip House, who were at the time probably the better guys, Grip House higher level now, the better jiu-jitsu guys, Marcos's guys, everybody thought it was a bam up. We were like, fucking 10th Planet, mad, Hoff jammy wearing fucking weirdos. That's what we thought it was like. We were like, these guys are joking. And then see, over the last couple of years, there's a boy Miguel that trains there.
Miguel Alvarez, aye,
Yep,
Miguel.
Big Kenny.
Big Kenny,
Right,
Big Kenny, I know.
so he's at MNBJJ now. I met him the other night.
Oh, so has
And
he moved then?
He's moved.
Oh,
I
has
think a couple of the guys are going down south to train with Ash Williams and stuff like that, and then the better guys have just not really got as many training partners now, so they're maybe moving. I'm not
Right,
sure.
so they need to move to kind of better
Aye.
their game.
But those guys, like I was competing an Evolution of Combat event maybe last year or something like that, and I was like, oh, guys for 10th Planet on the card. I was like, fucking hell, here we go. And they came in and I was like, what the fuck? These guys have got good, like really good.
Mhm.
I was like, so 10th Planet to me started as it was a joke. I was like, this is a bam up. Like, why are 10th Planet cunts here? Like, they're just joking, and they've ended up amazing. So apologies for like kind of roasting them a wee bit, but I was like amazed at how good they'd got. Because obviously I'd taken a couple of years away and stuff like that as well, so I wasn't really tuned in. But I was like, fucking hell, these guys were what we thought was genuinely a bam up before, and now they're fucking class.
I can see the likes of Miguel and that. I've got Miguel on Instagram. I've only met him a couple of times. It was through Matt. He was a member of 10th Planet. He's a blue belt as well. He actually got his blue belt by getting his fucking ACL snapped. That's it. I don't know what happened to his
What the fuck?
He was training. I snapped his ACL. I had a cunt to a fucking run anyway. And then that
Sounds
was like the
it, mate.
cherry. No, this was on the run up to his.
He's lying there on his knee and somebody skis him his blue belt. Fucking green.
Oh, he didn't get it after that. He ended up getting it. I don't think he knew he was getting it. He snapped his ACL and all that shit. He stays free up and all, man. The fucking poor cunt got a dog and all that, so he was fucked. And then we went up to Stevie's house and Stevie gave him his blue belt. At least you go to something with that, know what I mean? But my big Kenny, I think he got his blue belt, it might have been as well.
I think he's a purple belt now, mate.
It might have been
in the
what's
boy
above the blue belt? Is it brown?
purple.
Is it purple?
White,
blue, then?
blue, purple, brown, black.
Right, brown. Aye, right, sorted. Aye, so he might either get. This is I'm talking. Was it last year? Aye, about years about sometime last year. So it could have been his purple. But aye, so the two of them go at it. Aye, but Matt, he obviously was fucked to his leg, so I don't think he managed to get back to it anytime soon after that. So
Aye.
plus he's away travelling now. But aye, it was good for the one time that I went. I'd have liked to went to it more, but it's in Clydebank, so it's a bit of a journey.
Aye. But you're not too far. See, even like MMBJ and all that is like, if you got it's right beside, see, West Street Subway. You're like 2 minutes away, so you could get the subway there. Fucking
But in
pretty easy.
Pollokshields?
Aye.
Is it? Aye?
So, do you know where that, what's that shisha place called? Nah, never mind, I forgot the name. It's beside where Gorbals Tyre Centre and that moved to.
Is it? I'm not too sure what it
Besides-
is, but I know where the subway is because I've got to
It's,
get the
it's
subway.
in between Bridge Street and West Street Subway.
Oh, fuck,
so
is
it's more so, it's like the border at the back of Pollokshields and the start of the Gorbals. Beside like the O2 Academy and all that. Just down for there, mate.
Is
2 minutes away.
it? What is it like in terms of, let's see, if you're rolling that kind of stuff with the 10th Planet? They had gym right away. And I've heard like Gracie Barron likes that. You need to be there a couple of months.
Fuck
before you-
Gracie Barrett. Anybody watching this, fuck Gracie Barrett. There you go. Fuck, suck my balls. I started at Gracie Barrett as a young man, working behind the desk. That gym's a joke, mate.
Really,
Oh, the laughing stock of Glasgow. We call it the Tide, right?
Right.
Doesn't matter what happens, the Tide always comes in. Every couple of years, everybody leaves Gracie Barrett and they start again. Every couple of years, they all leave. They've got a grading day seminar thing coming up, and I guarantee you, after that grading day, half the gym leaves.
How would you mean? Why did
every
they
couple of
leave?
years? Because the guy that runs the place is a helmet, mate.
Oh, but did they leave just cause of this cunt's off your dick?
Like he's like no that good, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's like his issue. He's just no that.
Is he
fucking
not that?
good?
Or
no.
just a pure money making scheme?
Mate, that is Gracie Barra. Gracie
it?
Barra's like the Herbalife for jiu-jitsu, mate.
Is it?
Oh my
Because
God,
that's
aye.
the first one I remember. It was Gracie Bar's the first one I seen. I think I typed into. So I didn't know about all these gyms at this point. I wanted to do in some kind of, I think it was Muay Thai or something like that. I wanted to
Aye.
do something anyway. And I looked, and Gracie Barra's the first one that came up, and that's the one you always pass because it's under the bridge.
It's not there anymore. It's moved, but it
Oh, is
was
it?
there for the longest time.
That was the one because you're always passing that bit, and I was like, I must be alright in there. Then every cunt I spoke to like, nah, you're in there 3 months before you can like spar or anything like that.
It's weird. Like, and by the way, that's fine. Like, see the thing. Do you know the thing I don't like about Gracie Barra gyms, right? Because there's, by the way, I trained over in Gracie Barra in Northern Ireland before, and they were lovely. Aaron Rainey, not guys that are, I would say, are good friends of mine. When I see them, I love talking to them, and it's a good gym. The thing that I hate about Gracie Barra is it makes what I believe is an inclusive sport very exclusive in the sense of, like, say you're did you do martial arts when you were a wee boy?
No.
I thought, right, so I went to Taekwondo.
I went to boxing when I was about 15.
Right, so I went to Taekwondo for when I was 4-year-old, right? And you get your dobok and your belt, and your dobok's maybe 25 quid or whatever, and you get your wee discount because you're just a wee boy, and you have to get your Taekwondo license, which basically just covers you for insurance and stuff like that.
Aye.
But it's all cheap, right? And it doesn't matter if you turn up with £100 gloves on or you turn up with £10 gloves on, you get the same training for the same coach and everybody's mates. Gracie Barra make you buy, the gee's 160 quid, or with a premium Gracie Barra Academy, you can't come here. So you're telling me that the wee boy who's just choking to learn jiu-jitsu, who's maybe get 40 quid there to go and buy a gi off tatami and come and learn, and is willing to pay his membership fees and all that, but he can't train at your school because he will only spend 160 quid on your gi. And you have to be wearing a rash guard under your gi, which is 60 quid, and you have to be wearing Gracie Barra shot. Mate, you're 400-500 quid in equipment just to train and be recognised as a premium school. You're a fucking premium helmet, mate. That's what you're. Let cunts just do the sport. That's the way I see it, mate. I think it's sick, mate. That's the thing I hate the most about GB schools. See, as long as you're clean, you turn up to the gym clean, who cares, mate? Honestly.
See, so what are they get the kind of the rules that you can't train unless you're wearing their specific equipment?
Aye.
So if I was to turn up with my clothes, I'd be like,
If you turn up for your first class,
aye,
no,
your first class, but
they'll let
after
you
that,
borrow
you're
a gi, no, right? If you turn up for another gym and say you've moved country and you've got your old gym's gi or you've just got a general gi, they'll let you but they'll say to you, by the way, if you're here, like, you need to buy that.
That's scandalous, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, mate. Unreal.
Imagine going into Bella Houston and they say, oh no, you need to train with these kind of gloves, you need to wear these kind of shorts. Nah, if you're not wearing them, you're not coming in. No other gym would get away with that. It'd be scandalous.
No.
But I think it's because it's martial arts, and because of the name, they've built the brand of Gracie. Side it, and then you think, oh well, I suppose.
But it's a franchise. That's all Gracie Barra Glasgow is. It's a franchise. There's hundreds of Gracie Barra academies all around the world.
Nah,
they're just one of them.
Some
Some are amazing.
Martial arts, innit?
Some are amazing, by the way. See, like when you go to America and at like GB in Albuquerque with a guy Tusa, one of the best academies in that state in New Mexico now. Some amazing guys in the UK. Braulio Steam and that, so good. But then you've just got people like that just bring not just Gracie Barra down, but the fucking sport down.
Yeah,
mate.
definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
1,000,000%, man. I just try to fleece people. There's a jiu-jitsu gym in Govan. It's I think it was Hickson Gracie opened it. I'm not sure what it's called.
Connection Gracie.
Is it
Jiu-Jitsu?
Connection? Aye, so that's far from here.
That's Scott McVeigh. He's legit.
Oh, is it?
Aye, they're legit. Scott McVeigh's been around a long time. I think I've only really met Scott once. He would not remember who I am, but I've met him at I think it was a seminar before. But they had some real decent people in there. But you know, it's like people move countries and people come and go and all that. But they're a legit gym. They've been around a long time. He's a legit black belt. Yeah.
Because that'd be ideal to check that out, maybe locally. But I kind of mean, as I say, it was Matt. But good if he was here, he could kind of back me up in some of it. But it was him that's telling me about it. I couldn't tell you what it was at all.
Aye.
There's a good few gyms like that. See stashed about the place.
It's becoming a more popular sport now, mate.
100%. I think Joe Rogan, he's got a lot to be thankful for that, because it's kind of jiu-jitsu. I never really knew about it till the past couple of years. Then it was like watching the UFC and getting into MMA, then realising there's so many different layers to it. Then it's listening to Joe Rogan when he kind of goes into like the...
He's a 10th planet black belt.
Is he? Aye, he is, I know. And that's the first I watched him, just I think he was doing that, I don't know, he was showing somebody like a demonstration. I was like, fuck, check that out. And then because it'd be good, but as you say, you can't be half-arsed, mate. You need to kind of put in your time in that.
Aye, exactly, mate. Exactly. It needs to be like, especially if you want to compete, you need to take it fucking seriously, mate, or you're going to get your cunt kicked in, basically. It's that simple, man. It's that simple.
Gotta get your input out of a joint, man.
Exactly.
Can I just check, see that camera, that recording, has it got a time in it, tap it?
13:28.
Right, nice one. I always get pure anxiety, see, because I'm doing this myself. Usually I've got the producer there, Matt, and he'll be sitting doing all the hanging. Now I just need to sit and talk. I've got the pure easiest run, but now I need to do both jobs.
I make sure you're doing everything.
So I'm getting anxiety because I'm like, I don't want, because you sit and have a pure belt of a conversation. I had it, one of the first podcasts I done, a boy Detweiler. I don't know if you've seen it.
What is his real name? Ryan?
Ryan Smith, aye.
Aye. So I loved his shit on TikTok, right? I think we commented a couple of each other's videos before. We didn't follow each other, but like, he's clearly a mad cunt, right? Mm-hmm. But in like a good way. Like everything I loved how he just didn't give a fuck.
Nah.
That's the thing. Like maybe like he's got a face tattoo now. Maybe he's no like somebody that every cunt would think, oh, he looks brand new. He looks like a fucking nutter. But I just love the fact that any cunt said he was just like, I don't care. Like, that's the thing I loved about him, mate. He was just, and he was so honest about his own story,
Aye.
which I was like, fucking respect, man. That's
Aye.
not many cunts would be like that. But it's funny because the same thing happened with you, mate. I was sitting there the other day, I was like, I've not seen his shit come up on my FYP. And I went and looked, and all the comments are like, free Ryan and that. Mate, the same thing happened to you. I was like, where's he went? I thought it went on. I've got free Fivo. I was like, oh no, man, that's so funny. It was the exact same thing the other day, mate.
Aye, because I was sitting thinking, I see this thing I get to jail for. It happened 3.5 years ago, so I was thinking I was getting away with it.
Mate, you posted a video going, oh, Trips, don't worry, it's just a wee hiccup and that, like, it'll be fine, I'll be out of court. And then next thing I was sitting, I was like, he's not posted today, man, I wonder what he's saying. And it was fucking, you were in a nick,
I
mate.
cunts thought I was making it up. Those people actually must have thought it was some ploy.
Conspiracy.
I must have needed a break or something. I just
Publicity.
kidding on, I get to jail. Nah, man, the truth's much stranger. I thought I was getting away, but I was like, I'll get a wee sunbed and that later. Then boom, if I get a guilty and get remanded, there's what's going on.
That's
But
fucking brutal,
I
mate.
get an alright. I only get 14 months. I've expecting a couple of years because I've got previous for fucking I was younger. It kind of was fucking this, but it's all done. As I say, 3 weeks I get my tag off. So thank fuck,
Class,
man.
man. That's good, mate.
But I like Ryan. He's fucking in the jail. I think he's in for the foreseeable, man. The next
Oh,
year
really?
or so. Aye. But as I was saying, because the first podcast I done with him, we used a GoPro. It was Matt's GoPro, and Matt paid 400 quid for it, so it was. We couldn't say it bad about it.
No, it was
It was a
400
400
quid
quid GoPro, and
You
I'm
could
like,
have set up yourself up with Gracie Barra gear for that same 400 quid.
I know. Fuck, aye, but that's GoPro, man. He would defend it, man. It was like a dog it bit your Wayne, but it was his favourite dog.
Aye.
Man, and it's like, mate, the GoPro, it is expensive, but it's not worth a fuck. So we cut it after an hour. So me and Ryan, obviously, we got into a fucking pure heavy conversation, pure deep, mate, deep like the fucking Mariana Trench. And
Like
fucking-
heavy emotion, greeting.
Then I turned around at one point, noticed the wee red light wasn't there. I was like, you're kidding. I looked up and it cut out. So it cut out, we'd done about nearly 2 hours and it cut out an hour in. So what we had today, like, what we going to do? Because I didn't want to.
Write down notes what you're speaking of.
Yeah, that's the thing, because we couldn't really remember if it happened or not. So what we done is, I had the grand idea. A week later, we just wore the same clothes and went back in and just picked up from where we left off. So we just looked at the end of the end of the hour, right? What we talked about, right? We'll just start for there.
And ran
and
for
we done
there.
that, then just put it together. So if you seen that podcast, it just looks as if I've zoomed in, but it's a week later.
That's funny, mate.
Aye, if you look closely at my beard, know what I mean? You
It's
probably see it
like
wee bit
growing out a
older.
wee bit now. Fucking hell.
It looks a week older, that cunt. But aye, you're obviously a Southside yourself. You come from Pollokshields, is it?
Pollokshields, mate. I've got the
Pollokshields.
Southside tattoo on my knee.
Have you, aye?
Aye, wait, I'll show you.
Let's see it. Get it out.
Writing, south, side. There we go,
Right
mate.
to the left, love it. I was seeing next. I remember he's putting up a photo. See, we used to stay. It was like the kind of wee brown, like, kind of
The
flats.
flats have been ripped down now, mate.
I
Aye.
worked in them. I kind of helped rip them down.
Oh, did you?
But I say, I only
who
worked
was
it-
it that done the demolition there again?
Oh mate, it was a good few years ago. I was just agency, so I was there a couple of weeks. Then I ended up in a bender and get binned. So I was quite a recurring theme back then. But I remember. Cutting a big because it's like got a big courtyard and all that,
Uh-huh.
and it's like it's like you could walk from one end. It take you about 15
The
minutes to
corridors,
get
you
round.
walk right. You can walk right round the building.
Aye, in the
basically.
square. So I was
Aye.
always like that. See, because it was during the summer. I was like, I wonder what this is like. See, kicking about here in the summer, man. Just because the size of the courtyard, it'd have been amazing during the summer. Obviously,
Aye.
then you stayed there.
Aye,
So how was
so-
it staying there?
It was, mate. Do you know what? What a sense of community that place had,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the thing about schemy bits, right? And see, the thing is, you say to cunts, "Oh, I'm for Pollokshields," and cunts go, "Oh, big hoosies," and that. I mean, that was the only block of council flats in the full of the Shields, like the full place, right? We were surrounded by big sandstone, beautiful hoosies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see, there's another block across the road that isn't as big as ours, right? And obviously, there's other ways there as well. There's a big wide road, and we used to play like Kirby across that big road.
It's
And
a
you'd be
big road.
you'd be stopping for like reefs going past me, and cunts would obviously be like, "Oh, mad minty cunts hate them," but I was always like, "Fucking hell, I want to be that guy with the motors and that." So it was weird, mate, because you would be walking up to Maxwell Park and walking past like £1 million houses when we stayed in like damp Snyders. Thing is, the houses themselves physically were shite, like terrible, mate. But the good thing was there was hundreds of young families there, so you always had cunts to cut about with and all that. It was good, but it was a bit of a mad place sometimes, mate. It went through phases. When we first moved there, because the house I was born in was Nimmo Drive, so just round the corner.
Oh, was
from
it?
here.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, so you're
Nimmo
for
Drive.
Govan originally
Aye,
then,
exactly,
aye,
for
danger.
Govan boy, mate. But when I was like 1 or 2 year old, we moved to that bit in Pollokshields. Now, the kind of community council or the tenancy kind of group for the blocks, like my mum's granny was in them, right? And basically the rule, which is weird for Pollokshields, because Pollokshields like mostly a Pakistani community, right? The predominant religion in Pollokshields is Muslims, mosques everywhere, right? Most of my mates for Shields are Muslim, but that bit was like the mad wee council cunts were all Catholic, and they would only give houses to Catholics. So my ma wasn't a Catholic, but she said to my granny Delia, "Oh, why have put a good word in for us now?" So it was hard to get a house there, mate. Like, it was actual hard. And then people started, because quite a few of them are bought houses, by the way. Obviously ours weren't, but there's a couple of bought houses that were dotted about there. And so we had to really try to get in. And once we get in, my mum was like, "Oh, fucking class, we've made it, we've got in here." And obviously it was council housing, so rent was cheap and all that. But as cunts started to move out, and there was obviously new build flats going up and that, they were less desirable to move into, so the quality of tenant got worse.
Oh, really?
So worse cunts started to come in, but worse cunts are also better sometimes. So I remember being a wee boy, right? I was mad with the GameCube, loved the GameCube. That's what I played all day,
same,
right?
I was the same.
But I didn't want to ask. I don't know if you were the same growing up, right? I never asked for anything, because I used to think, oh my god, if I ask for something, imagine how shite it must be being a parent saying, "Oh no, you can't have that." Do you know what I mean? Because it's too dear or something, right? So I was like choking for a PS2, mate. So the fat PS2 came out, and then the slimline PS2 came out, right? So it'd been out a couple of years, and I was like, I'm happy with fucking my Need for Speed Underground on the GameCube, right? So this day my dad comes down the stairs, right? PS2, fucking all sorts of games, multiple memory cards and all that, right? And the memory cards were dear, mind. The controllers and that. I was like, what the fuck, right? And he's like, "There you go, that's for you." And I was like, buzzing out my nut, right? So I said, "Where'd you get this?" And he's like, "Oh, I just got it for somebody, blah, blah, blah." So I'm like, think it's a brand new PlayStation. Mate, I put it in, right? The memory card has all sorts of Prince of Persia saved games on it and that. And I'm like, the fuck, went upstairs. Mate, he was a junkie cunt next door and knocked it off some cunt. My dad gave him £25
No
for it.
danger,
The
did
cunt came, my dad says the cunt came to the door, pure jangling. "Oh, mate, 50 quid for this." My dad's went in his pocket, went, "Mate, I've got £25. The cunt went, "Sound." Sold it to my dad. It was probably a couple £100 worth of stuff, mate. So it was like any scheme, mate, except smaller. It was more compact. Like, there was the odd cunt get, like, I can't get murdered at the back, seeing that courtyard, mate, stamped to death after the football, mate, one time. And I mind, you know where the Ladbrokes is beside the Spa? There's a bookies just kind of...
It's just kind of across the roads, a wee row of shops.
Bang, exactly, right. The Chinese and that was there. And I mind being a wee boy, and he who committed this crime shall remain nameless, right? But I remember being 9-year-old, right, sitting on top of the phone box there. My dad was in putting his coupons on for the football, and seeing a junkie guy coming down the Shields Road Hill past the church, just coming down on his bike. I seen the cunt getting hit in the neck with a machete while cycling, mate. I mean, two-stepper, bang, fucking cracked right in the throat. The cunt tried to behead him, right? Because basically, the cunt who'd done that, who hit the cunt with the blade, the junkie had battered his maw. No, it was his maw, right?
Sake.
And he's just fucking done him with this blade. I swear to God, mate, I started screaming, ran in the bookies, pure greeting, because I'm a wee boy, right? So my dad, "Oh, Dad, for you to come out," right? My dad came out and went, "What the fuck?" Mate, the cunt's neck was actually open, like he was coughing, there was blood coming out his neck,
what
right?
the fuck, that's gruesome as fuck.
It is nuts, mate. Nuts, mad place.
What happened to the cunt?
So he survived, and then he got like a surgery, but they thought he was good. I thought I was like, this cunt's dead 100%, right? And my dad, we phoned the ambulance, not my dad stayed with the guy. The guy who's got that to my dad, mate, he was coughing, going, "If I'm going to die, I want one last fag." That's what you say to my dad. So my dad's ended up hitting his head off the concrete to try and make him shut up. Like, he cunt's lying in the deck asking for a fag, right? And my dad's just obviously hit him. So the cunt's had a surgery, survived and that, right? Pure traumatic experience. The cunt signed himself at a hospital about 3 weeks after surgery. OD, mate, died 3 weeks later.
Up,
swear down, mate.
Sake, man.
Stupid cunt, man.
Survived that to die in OD, man.
But see, the thing is, cunts hear shit like that, and I'm not saying that's normal for schemes, but how many cunts do you know have been stabbed? Plenty, probably.
I know. Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
It becomes part of the
exactly.
norm.
So the thing is, cunts go, "Oh my God," like, I'm seeing a new lassie on the right who's like, no fair scheme at all, right? And she admits she's quite sheltered, and I tell her that, and she's like, "You must be scarred." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, that was just life. Like, it's so normal. And I think, see, now, because I'm in like a professional industry, and like the way people see me on social media, like, there's no way you ever will fair scheme. But I'm just like, it's just so normal, mate, for me, like shit like that. It was just, that's just what happened.
Actually,
man.
it's part and parcel. It is, because it's a lot of the places you see. It's like you've got a lot of areas that have obviously got like the kind of the poorer parts of the area use it as a kind of way like that. It was kind of enormous. You poorer areas, you've got a lot more drug use, a lot more people selling drugs, and with that are going to be a lot more crime. It's just a cycle.
Exactly. That's just that's like, it's weird because you look and you feel sorry. Like, see people who are drug addicts, I feel sorry for them, right? Because see the way you think about it, so many of them have had childhood trauma in it when you look back at it, and it's like people look unfavourably towards junkies and alkies and all that. But then because the cunt that sells all the shit in the scheme has the Prada America cups, they think he's the top man. It's like, do you understand the fucking connection between these two cunts? Like, how are you not getting that?
Because a lot of people don't really look underneath it. They just look at what they see, the face value, like the big motors, the thing, when they don't actually look at what's going on.
Exactly.
And it's not really out there in public view. It's not what I mean, 'cause you just look at it
schemes are pure contained. They're in pure kangaroo court. Do you get what I mean? It's like they don't need, they exist without fucking outside influence. Do you know what I mean? They just operate themselves. That's the thing I like about schemes sometimes, mate. Is like, I don't think cunts get doings enough anymore. Do you get what I mean? I'm like, cunts do stuff and don't get a doing. I'm like, getting doings is healthy, mate. I mind one time when I was a wee guy at the park, they just built a new park in Pollokshields beside St Albert's Primary School, and getting wide with this boy for no reason. I wasn't really a wee prick, mate, and I stayed out of trouble. I didn't drink or nothing, right? But I mean, getting wide with this boy and walking away thinking, pure roast him there. He fucking hit me with a traffic cone, mate.
Fuck's sake.
Scudded me in the back of the head with a traffic cone, right? Did I ever get wide with him again? Nah. Absolutely fucking not, because he hit me with a traffic cone. Do you get what I mean? So I'm like,
it humbles you.
Cunts need scheme justice, mate. You just need, like, do you know that way, if you came in with your wee guy and you're like, oh, this cunt hit me, not my dad didn't go, oh, well, I'll have a word with him. My dad's like, well, you better go out and fucking either do him or get a doing. That's the rules. I think you need more of that, mate. It sounds stupid because cunts just want to tell teachers.
It does. It's one of see this kind of the run the wide and telling thing. I think that's what's led to the pure PC brigade and all that nowadays. Because I'm with you, mate. A scheme boot never hurt nobody, so to speak. Know what I mean?
Aye. Unless you get killed or something. But like, for me, it was like
a fucking neck. It
was a lesson, mate. It's just, I think you need to learn the lessons the hard way sometimes. Because that's the thing. See, in business now, mate, I'll get cunts like, say you're two people are going for one deal, and you're trying to undercut each other and all that kind of stuff, and people are like, oh, like, I'll tell my lawyer about this or blah 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 blah. I'm like, mate, I'm still in a position in my business life that I'll still punch fuck out you. Do you get what I mean? I'm like, you tell your lawyer he will not undo you. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many people that have came for money that are in the same industry are like, oh, everything's done with pen and paper. I was like, I'll 2 foot slide tackle you, mate. Doesn't bother me. It's maybe not the most professional thing in the world, but sometimes you just need to do people.
I could imagine, because some of these people, you can imagine growing up with a silver spoon, and I've noticed it and put in my category like that, but you do get some people like that. They've no 100%. Idea, no concept of getting punched in the face. Because you remember yourself when you were younger, before you ever get punched in the face, you were a dick, and it's the minute you get punched, you were like, I can't be like that. 100%, so a lot of these people, if you've never been punched in the face and you've never had that lesson,
that's it. Like, the average male believes they're 8,000% more effective in a fight than they actually are. So that's made up of cunts that fucking probably think they're about right, 0%, and cunts that are like 1,000,000% mad YouTube Jeet Kune Do masters now. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
So, see, until you've actually been cracked a belter, you don't really have an opinion, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many people change as soon as they get punched. They're like, oh my god, like, I bleed. Do you get what I mean? It's like, cunts just don't get it. I think people need more doings in the world, mate.
100%. Like, it reminds me back when I first started, I went to boxing, was like 15, man. I used to, first time I ever sparred, obviously in there, you had to go be a little bit, a cut a week, hitting the bags and that before they put you in case you went and get put in with something to get leathered. So the first time I get put in was a guy, he was a good bit smaller than me, and I was like, fuck's sake, man, they're fucking gone easy in here. And I was like, I hope I don't hurt this cunt. And I just remember, like, as soon as we went to
20 rapid,
he just went, I smack, and I was like, I felt my eyes well. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, alright, never underestimate Andy again.
Aye.
But that was, as you say, like, at the time I thought I'd fucking pure maul cunts, and I was like, it was humbling. But it's the best lesson you could have get.
This is the thing, have you ever sat and what, like, I remember first starting to watch MMA, and I'd watch it with my dad, right? And cunts who don't understand the sport or boxing or whatever, they don't understand the level of skill that goes into it. And my dad would be watching MMA, my dad would turn to me and go, see, when I was a boy, in my scheme, Davey, he could have fucking walked out, he'd wipe the flare with all the cunts. And I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, you stupid. And my dad, God fucking bless him, truly would believe that. Like, no, like, I know you're saying that, but street fighting's different. I'm like, Dad, he's just picked somebody up and dropped him on a mat. Imagine he picked him up and dropped him on the concrete. The cunt would be dead.
Aye.
The fight would have been done. Do you get what I mean? And that's saying, like, that's why I love watching see the stuff that, like, Davey talks about, like Mad Ravey Davey. Like, I'm like, as much as professional wrestling requires a lot of skill, it's a very different sport. But I'm like, if these guys, if imagine getting Batista bombed in the street, mate.
I know.
You would fucking die, bro. Like, that's the thing. I'm trying to
forget,
explain.
you forget as well. It's like see sometimes you look at let's see MMA and that, like it doesn't look as if they're doing much at times, but it's like looks dead seamless and flawless. But you're like that's how technical these guys are. They make it look easy.
Level,
but if you were actually in that ring with them, it would be totally a different level. See if you look in comparison, if you compare Khabib, did you watch Khabib against Justin Gaethje?
Wow.
Like Justin Gaethje's pure active as fuck in a fight, but with that it looked as if pure it was blown out his arse. It just shows the pressure Khabib can put. It just shows you the level he's fighting at.
That's like seeing that happen to Gaethje was like you ever seen that bit in The Simpsons when who is it? Is it what's the wee guy with it? Milhouse is crying. He goes, "Stop! He's already dead." Have you seen it? It's like he's crying. That was me with Gaethje, mate, because I love Gaethje. Like, not that I ever fought like Gaethje, or nor would I ever want to. I just have so much respect for the guy, and I was like, it was like watching. Imagine watching your dad get a doing in this game. Like, imagine another dad doing your dad. You'd just be like, "Oh my god, so hard." But that's how I felt. I was like, he made somebody who is so elite look like a wee boy.
An amateur, aye.
I had £100 on Gaethje to beat Khabib as well.
I thought as well, because it's Khabib. He's kind of becoming like the guy that fights Canelo or something, or the guy that fights Mayweather or that. You're like, you get behind them because you want to see them get beat, but then you just go in. It's just a different level.
He's just the thing with Khabib is, I mean, I don't think he's the greatest all time. That for me is still John Jones.
Nah,
it's always going to be John Jones
a few more of the elites. He has his bet, like a good few of them, but see if you compare to John Jones. John Jones bet the best, whereas Khabib, he left early. He left on top, and fair play to him.
I understand why he did. His dad passing away, and his mod didn't want him to fight anymore. And he's for a much more traditional background. See those guys for Dagestan, Chechnya, and all that. Like, I understand why he's done it, and I don't think he'll ever break that promise to his mum and fight again. And I can respect him so much for being able to make that promise and never break it. But also the fan side of me, I'm like, fuck me, I'd love to watch you fight me. But I'd like to see him take like grappling matches, maybe on like Polaris or Who's Number One, these big submission grappling tournaments. I'd love to see that, but I don't even know if he'll do that. Have you seen the size of him now, by the way? I don't want to say he's a fat bastard, but he's been gone into the fucking.
Because I think what was it? It was lightweight. I think lightweight was a push for him to make. He was struggling to make weight. I think he's maybe a welterweight, maybe even a middleweight.
He's missed weight a few times. Well, not missed weight. He's either like had to pull out because of weight issues, basically.
I was struggling. Cause I think he beefs up between training and that, because I think he likes his food.
Tiramisu, mate. You ever heard the tiramisu story about Khabib?
No.
Like, he basically had to pull out of a fight because he ate tiramisu.
Tiramisu?
Aye, the dessert.
Oh, really?
Aye. Like, and it's a joke. Like, he had a bit of tiramisu, and then like he was starting his weight cut, and he fainted and hit his head off a bath.
What the fuck? Oh, when was this? Was this like
years ago? Years ago.
See, before
was the week fight? Aye.
Oh, was it a week fight?
And
how big is tiramisu?
Like, I think he had like a portion of tiramisu, but he blamed this whole thing on this one bit of tiramisu.
Fuck's sake.
But it was like, mind him and Tony Ferguson were booked to fight each other about 7 times or something.
Something always happened.
It was one of the Tony Ferguson
was that one of them?
Fuck's
sake. So tiramisu's bet Khabib then?
Aye. So there's so many, mate, that is a meme that goes about, and it's Khabib like flexing on the scales, and somebody's photoshopped a big bit of tiramisu. It's a pure joke in the MMA community about Khabib like, with the tiramisu, man. It's funny.
Aye. It was a gutter that he left, and plus as well with him and Tony, but after seeing the way Tony's kind of, obviously he's fucking, you can only fight like that for so long. He's like Gaethje. Like, doesn't he last forever, that kind of style of fighting?
Can he do it for too long, mate? The human body's not finite, do you know what I mean? Like, it adds up, mate, especially in later life as well. You maybe look at cunts now and go, oh no, he's fine. It's like, check in on him in 20 years, mate, he's going to be shaking like a fucking wet dog, man.
See him now, he seems that kind of way as well, but I think he's just fucking at peace with it.
Aye.
He's just accepted it.
You need to be, though. You need to accept that you're paying years of your life towards like your sport. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you're not like it, even guys who are like normal fighters, it's like, it's gonna have an effect on you in later life, mate.
No,
like
1,000,000%. But obviously, you're an investor. Is it what kind of investing do you do? Is it like kind of property, or is it all different things?
90% of my income is property based. I have, different bits of cryptos and different stocks that I'm interested in, and I'm always open to looking at different opportunities if stuff comes up. But for me, like, it's like 90% property is what I do. I would refer to myself as a property investor. If I was to give myself one kind of title, I would say property investor for sure. That's kind of what I would call myself, I guess.
How is it you started getting into that?
So I was a spark previously, right? So I'd done my apprenticeship with my dad, right? My dad got funding for the government for me to like start as an apprentice. It was just me and him that worked together. So I kind of always had an idea that property was something that was profitable, because we done mostly domestic stuff, so it was all houses, new builds and all that. So I was like, oh, there must be money in this because people are doing it. So that, I guess it piques your interest, but I was too busy training and wanting to fight and all that to really consider that as a serious option. I had some time in another business when I left my job as a Spark, which is like a kind of CFD trading business. And to be fair, it was a great product. I loved what I was doing, and then it just started to go south. The people within that business, I had no autonomy because I was only a person there, and it was based down south, so I couldn't really have my say. And they started doing stuff that I just wasn't comfortable being associated with, so I decided to take my leave from that and go. And I had a little bit of money saved, but also when you start making a bit of money, mate, you become a helmet, man. Like, cunts think I'm a pure wanker online, right? And to some degree, I accept that, right? But when I first started making, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a month, right? Like, I would get 10 grand on Monday the 1st, and by the next first of the month I had no dough left. And cunts go, how do you spend? Mate, it's easier to do than you think, right? Because see, if you go out with 10 of your mates, oh no, night out's on you.
It's on you, you're paying for it.
It's pure stupid stuff, right? And not that I became a bad person, like I wasn't unkind, I wasn't nasty, I was just stupid, mate, just stupid. And obviously I left that other business and had a little bit of money saved, maybe 15, 20 grand or something like that, but I'd lifted my monthly expenses right up, do you know what I mean? And you've got, like, I buy everything on credit cards and pay them off, get good for your credit rating, and then you're forgetting about a credit card that you've put 3 grand on, and you're spending that 3 grand on something else and going, oh fuck that other credit card, I need to pay that up. Like, you get into this web of pure pish, right? And I decided to myself, there was a guy I watched a lot of, Grant Cardone, who's like this guy online, American real estate kind of guy, and I was listening to him while I was still on site before I quit my job, just more so for the motivation. The hardest thing about entrepreneurialism is that there's no many cunts that are into it. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite lonely. Like, when I'd be on PlayStation with my mates, I can't talk about business with them. All they want to talk about is going out and building it, which, by the way, I love talking about and is fine, but I didn't have anybody to relate to. That's why I listened to all that content. And he came to Glasgow, the guy Grant, on this UK tour thing, and I was like, oh, I need to go. This is this guy I've in my head spent hours with listening. And
I feel like you know him.
Exactly.
Right.
And I went along to that and met who now is a great friend of mine, so I consider a mentor, like someone who's had a great impact in my life, a guy, Paul McFadden. And me and Paul dead close now, and he was the guy that kind of opened that door into property for me, and I've kind of followed his lead ever since. Pretty much everything he said to me, implement this, I've done. And I would love to. It's my action that's done it. I could have sat down and went, no, I can't be arsed. But using what he's shown me and now what I'm able to give to other young people, that's how I really get into it. But see, because I wasn't on site anymore, I'd been in a previous business, I'd quit. Technically, I guess when I started, I was unemployed. Do you get what I mean? I was like, I've got a wee bit of money there. Nothing huge. Especially when you're spending 4 or 5 grand a month. 15, 20 grand's lasting you, 12 weeks?
No long.
Mate. So I basically was full time in property for day dot, pretty much.
So what age were you when you started?
That I've been full time property about just over 3 years now.
3 years. Are you 25 now?
25. I just turned 25 end of September.
How did you feel it was coming into property? So you obviously talk about being like a scheme boy for the scheme and that. Did you feel as if people kind of held it against you?
It's weird, mate, especially being young and all. And it's one, being for the scheme, being young, and no looking like your typical cunt that works in I don't wear suits and all that unless somebody's died, really. Like, that's the only time I wear suits. And so, like, I'd be making calls to people, try to, like, get deals and buy houses and all that, and talking to investors. I mean, going to an old guy's house in Pollokshields, an old Pakistani dude, right, and he was really nice. What a laugh the guy was when I turned up, right, but he was in like his 70s looking to sell this flat, and he said to me on the phone, he said, am I talking to the boss? And I said, yeah. He said, and is it the boss that's going to be coming? I felt like saying to him, well, I'm the only cunt here, so but whatever. I was like, yes, the boss is coming. And I turned up to his house, and he looked at me and he was like, where's the boss? And I was like, I'm the boss. And he was like, ha, oh, really? And I was like, aye. And he was like, he was brand new, he was like, all right, fine, fuck it, come in. But you got that perception with people that cunts were just like, really, you? Are you joking? Because I've got tattoos on my fucking head.
Because you're young as well, you're young, you do look dead young.
See, the thing is, mate, cunts are always going to, whatever you do, cunts are going to judge it, right? Whether it's business or whatever. The only way to legitimise yourself and prove people wrong or prove them otherwise is through results. That's what I had to do, was find people that backed me, get results, and then say, look, maybe I don't look like the cunt you think I look like, but I've provided this result for someone. This is why you should do business with me. So it was all about trying to get results and prove that. But the thing is, mate, you get all walks of life in property. Do you know what I mean? You get all kinds of different people. Like, not everyone is somebody who's been brought up pure silver spoon and all that. Are there hundreds of people like that? Yeah. Am I mates with some people like that as well? Aye, of course. And we all have jokes and all that. Like, I remember like one of my mates saying like, oh, we made fucking 50 grand on this thing, and he's like, oh, I remember my first 50 grand. Like cunts like that. But I like having people around me like that.
It's a bit of banter. It's not as if
exactly. There's no pure roasting me. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I like being around people like that. So there's places and friendships to be made with people that when I was a wee boy I'd have been like, oh, my private school cunts, fuck off. Like, I'm mates with people like that now. So you need to kind of diversify your whole network.
Of course. When I say I talk about silver spoon, I'm not meaning like everybody of that kind of. So obviously, you know,
but there is
you do get people
like
wankers.
Oh,
know what I mean?
Of course, mate.
I just all based on, I'm just gonna probably like yourself, you just take people at face value. Like, if you're a wanker, you're a wanker. It doesn't matter what you've had or how much you've got.
Don't care what race, sexuality, gender, whatever. If you're a cunt, you're a cunt.
That's
mate.
it, man.
You've
That
seen the
shines
video.
everything.
You've seen the video of the guy talking to his wee boy, and he goes, "What do you not understand? If you're nice, you get stuff. If you're a cunt, you get fuck all." You ever seen it? He's the wee boy. He's about 6 years old eating his cereal. And his dad said to him, "Mate, I live by that. It's like, if you're a cunt, you're a cunt. I don't care who you're, what you're, whatever. Like, I just judge individuals as individuals, mate."
That's it. That's the way to do it, and I think that probably does come back a lot to the scheme kind of mentality as well, because that is how you're kind of brought up that kind of way. No saying
100%.
obviously there's other privilege there as it might bring up that way, but I think that is installed to you for a young age.
100%.
Your elders and that kind of stuff.
That's it. You're just like, nobody looks that deep into stuff when you're like growing up in a scheme. It's just like, you just know people that person's an arsehole or that person's nice, and you get treated as such. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it should be, I think.
1,000,000%. We should start teaching it in schools that kind of way, that kind of mentality, that ethos. But I suppose it all comes down to like the parents and that kind of upbringing. But see, obviously with your property investment, when you started that, when did you start posting on social media and that? When did that start becoming a thing? Or did you do that for the offset, or was that in your mind?
You probably don't even know this about me, right? So I'm gonna fucking wreck your head here now. So when I started probably, I already had a bit of a following online. Right? I know for a fact there's cunts watching this right now that already know this about me, and I hardly ever talk about it, so I say it's not an exclusive because it's public knowledge. So I worked as a lookalike, mate.
Was it Pete Davidson by any chance?
No, but I get that a lot, right? Mate, let me whisper it to you first, right?
Right. I can see it.
Mate, I swear down, right?
I can see it.
So, I told it it's Harry Styles for One Direction, right? So I worked as a lookalike.
I can actually feel see it.
Right,
I
had
can't
long
unsee
hair
it.
and that, right? Everything. So, I worked as a lookalike. Whilst I was still in college, got approached to go and do it and all that, right? And mate, you got like £150, £200 an hour for turning up at stuff, right? It was fucking class. So I got a following for that because I went to the MTV EMAs and met fucking Ariana Grande, like all these mad famous cunts, and there was photos of me getting put online, right? Now, obviously, whether I look like looks like someone's a personal opinion, right? But cunts were just saying, "Oh, who's this guy?" So I got all these followers, like 7,000 followers maybe, quite quickly. So when I went into property and that, I already had a very small following. Now, it was probably all like lassies or whatever, right? So it wasn't like it was people I was going to do business with, but I was already very active on social media. Like, see, on my Instagram now, I've got maybe, 300 posts. I had about 1,500 posts on my Instagram. I went through and archived all of them and cleaned my Instagram up for when I was like in school, like a wee boy, do you know what I mean? I cleaned it all up. So I was already super active on social media. Not active in a business sense, but I've always been somebody who broadcasts their life publicly. Like, I'm happy to like succeed or fail on the stand, if you get what I mean. Like, I'm not bothered about hiding shit and all that. See, end of the day, mate, the way I think about it is like, see, posting stuff online, people might go, "Oh, post a photo of your motor, you're showing off, that's insensitive," or whatever. Like, see, when I was a wee guy, I wanted to see the cunts with the cool motors and that because I thought it motivated me. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And the thing is, you'll get it as well. You get heavy stick on TikTok after cunts as well. Mate,
I get it.
Let me tell you, has any cunt ever chapped your door and tried to do you?
No, not
Has any
once.
cunt stopped you in the street and tried to do you?
No,
exactly.
It's the same cunts
So
who would never
who
see
gives
their
a
face.
fuck,
If they
mate?
seen them in the street, it's the same cunts that probably, "Oh, right, what's happened?" Try and talk to you, that shit.
Exactly. That's the
cunts.
thing, mate. It's probably people your actual mates, do you know what I mean? That are roasting you. So that's the thing. Like, I love posting online. I'll document everything online, and see if I fail, mate. I need to accept and put my hands up that I will fail in front of millions of people. Millions of people. Cunts will roast fuck out of me. I'll walk down the street, and that's probably when cunts will start beating the brow off me. Do you know what I mean? But I'm willing to take that risk because the benefits for my businesses now and my own, I guess, personal brand, you could call it, people that know me, never mind my businesses, people that want to understand just what I do personally. Like, I need to, the benefits are too big when putting yourself out there to deny and not be on social media. That's me saying you need to be big on social media to be, know that I'm big, but you don't need to post a lot on social media to be successful. Like, you can be successful behind closed doors, but I think it accelerates what you do.
Definitely does. It definitely does. It gets it, as well as the thing, I noticed with you, Dave, see, you get a lot of people, I don't know, you get certain people who go like that, right? They'll try and get people to sign up to something and they don't really give much away. Let us sign up for it a month and I'll tell you this and that. But you're quite open about it. You'll let people ask you questions and you'll be straight up and you'll actually give them stuff they can work with, stuff that will help them, advice and that kind of stuff, which you don't see a lot of people doing. But see, do you feel as if having the following that on social media, do you think that helps you in business? What has that done to help you? Is it opened up new opportunities and that kind of stuff?
Definitely. I mean, see, the thing is, people are more inclined to follow someone who's already followed, if you get what I mean. So, say someone clicks on my TikTok and I've got, 45k followers or something like that, right? Even if you post the same video, if I made another account, Richard Dickson 2, posted the same video, and one had 100 followers and one had 45k, people are more inclined to follow someone that's already followed.
Legitimize.
You're walking down the street and you see one person walking down the street, or you see a crowd of 100 people. You look at the crowd. Oh, I wonder where the crowd are going. Like it's just human nature to follow those who are already followed, and people buy for people. Do you get what I mean? So having people who, now it's not me saying everyone who follows me likes me. There's probably cunts that are following, waiting for me to make a mistake. Right?
Haters.
Keep fucking waiting. Right? But like that happens, and I understand that. But having that audience already there, already warm to you as a person, it makes it much easier to provide those people with a service or with content that they enjoy and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's, for me, having social media is very important. It's brought me more so contacts, meeting people through social media. That's probably the biggest thing that's happened for me. I've been able to meet some pretty cool people through social media.
Amazing, man. See, obviously you started getting into the property obviously when you were 22, and you talk about when you made your first 10 grand. How far were you into property when that happened?
Well, I'd already made my first 100 grand when I got into property.
Oh, but before you even get into property? Oh, so really?
Yeah. So
was this, by this point, had you learned? See, obviously you're saying you'd get like 10 grand in the first, then by the first of the next month it was gone.
I'd already got that out of my system before I got
really?
into property.
So how did you manage to get that out of your system? I'd imagine that'd be pretty hard, because you'd get... It's an easy trap to get into, it's addictive. Spending money is addictive,
mate.
It's just
100%. So, see, the thing is, especially you come for a scheme, you've got bad money habits. Like, what do your mum and dad argue about in the house?
It's always money,
right? Like, what do you not have any of? Money, or no excess of? Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
So, like, I was an apprentice. I'd finished my apprenticeship, but I was making a consistent wage. I knew what I was making, but I wasn't making anything special. So when you first start making money, it's like you think about all the stuff that you align success with. So one of the first things I done, see, when I was a wee boy in Pollokshields, there was a guy there who was obviously punting all sorts to everybody, but when you're a wee boy, you just see that he's cool, right?
Aye.
And he had patent red Prada America cups.
The shiny ones,
right?
I had black.
The
ones.
first thing I done was went out and get patent silver Prada America cups, because that to me was a sign of success.
Aye.
So as much as I was 20-something year old, I was still thinking 10-year-old me seed. What did 10-year-old me think was successful? So I was like, alright, sound, I'm going to go and get a Merc, and I'm going to get Prada shoes. And I used to go on nights out, not very often because I don't go out that often, but when I did go out, I was like looking, saying, oh, what drink can I get for fucking £2 or something like that? Because if I've got 25 quid, that means I can get 10 drinks, leave a wee tip, or give the guy in the fucking toilet £1 to scoosh a dupe or something. Do you know what I mean? That was my mindset. And then it became, alright, I can literally go within reason in Glasgow. Like, do you know how hard, and I'm not saying this to show off, right? But I'm saying it to show how fucking stupid it was. Do you know how hard it is to spend 3 or 4 grand in a night out in Glasgow unless you go to Sanctuary, which I've never been to because I'd rather kill myself. But it's just not my place. It's a successful business. If you work in Sanctuary, amazing, good on you. And if you own it, even better, you're probably packing, right?
Used to their own, innit?
But it's no my scene. It's not what I like. Do you know how hard it is to spend 3-4 grand in Glasgow on a night out?
No hard at all, I imagine.
It's fucking hard as fuck, mate.
Is it hard, eh?
Oh, mate, it's so hard. Because, see, when you go to London or Dubai or something like that,
Yeah.
like, say going to Nobu in Marbella, there's bottles of wine on there that are £1,000 for a bottle of wine. No bother, right? Now, that's not me saying I buy them because I don't really like wine, right? But it's easy. You could spend 3-4 grand super easy. See, in Glasgow, I mean, when we were first going out, you weren't getting Dom Perignon in most places, £200 a bottle. Mate, if the dearest champagne they have in a place is £200, how many bottles that do you need to buy to spend £2,000? That's 10 bottles to spend £2,000.
That's a
Do you get what I mean? How many cunts do you need to drink 10 bottles of champagne?
Aye.
So we were going into places and like just doing stupid shit, like buying stuff and emptying it till you're in heat. Now, see, when me and my mate Antonio, I don't know if you've seen Antonio on my social media.
I think I have.
He's one of my best mates, right? See, when we go to Spain, we do stupid stuff like that, right? Because it's me and him in Spain just having a laugh, buying sort of squishing each other and that, just having a buzz. But see, in Glasgow, like I was having to get like 10, 15 my mates going on nights out and just me being an idiot saying nobody's paying for anything. I'm paying for everything. And you wake up the next day and you're like,
oh, but if I done, don't even want to look at your bank balance.
So that sobers you up quickly, mate. Makes you realise, oh my god, like what am I doing? Now, I never got to a point where I never went broke, if you get what I mean.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, I've ran out of money. But I had a plan. Do you get what I mean already? I wasn't sitting there going, oh, well, I'm fucking skint. I was like, okay, I've made this money. I've spent most of it. I need to find something else. See that period when you go through that realisation and you change and you go, right, I'm not going out and doing that stupid shit. See the amount of cunts that just disappear for your life, mate.
Oh, really? Aye?
Oh.
Did you notice a good few people?
So many, mate.
But was it people you'd known
see
who were growing
when-
up in that kind of... Or was it people who just kind of hangers
Aye
on, so
and
to
no,
say?
aye and no. Like, see when you're buying dinners and you're paying for nights out, who doesn't want to be mates with that guy?
No.
Who doesn't want to be mates with that guy? If somebody offers you a drink, oh my god, aye, fucking great. Like, you want to be mates with that people. What bird doesn't want to speak to that guy? Now, obviously, it's a personal opinion as well because you could be an ugly bastard, so it doesn't matter. But what I mean is, it's so easy to be that guy. And then when you go, actually, I'm going to take a step back, it's like, oh, where's the next that guy? Do you get what I mean?
So it's just on the next one.
Like, it's hard to spend money like that, and you need to put an effort in to spend that kind of money. You're not in London, you're not in Marbella, you're not in Dubai, you know it's somewhere that I don't think cunts go, oh mate, lads weekend in Glasgow, we're going to go and pure spend hundreds of dough in Glasgow. That doesn't happen, mate. It's not a thing. You go to London or you go to Paris, you go somewhere like that. So during that whole period of just being an idiot, I just realised, oh my god, like I've let, I don't know, 70 grand just disappear. Like 70 grand that I could not put a finger on where it went.
What was this the period of time? How long?
8 months.
8 months? You spent 70 grand and you just couldn't account for it? But
Yeah,
you think
under a year anyway.
Would you think that was like just night suit
Well,
and that kind of
clays
stuff?
and shit, right? So you can go, oh, well, I've bought these clays and I bought a Rolex and I bought whatever, right? Like, and I bought a car that I didn't buy my car outright, but the deposit on the car was maybe 5-6 grand, and you're getting a 6 grand watch, and then, but there was times, mate, I mind checking, and I'm still bad for it now, like eating out and go to restaurants all the time, but I do that with clients and stuff as well. But I mind checking my bank, mate, 1 month, and believe me or not, but when you're thinking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's not that hard. On Deliveroo alone, in 1 month, I'd spent just under £1,000.
Fuck off, really?
On
See, to be
Deliveroo.
honest, I can believe that. See, I genuinely like, see, takeaways, that's an addiction in itself. No, I think it's the hardest thing. See, if you're used to getting takeaways, you ever tried cooking a meal after it? You don't want to look at it.
No,
You don't want to eat
mate,
it.
I'm shite at cooking, so I want to pay somebody to make a better dinner. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
Like, I'm not shite at I'm alright at it. But this is the thing, mate. It's like your whole spending in general just goes out of control. It's like everything, like even stuff like, see when you're at a till and someone goes, oh, would you like to upgrade to a such and such today for just an extra £1? Like the stuff that when before I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. You just go, aye. Like anything that you can upgrade, you will do. Because you think, oh, well, I can. It's stuff that you've never had your full life that you're like, oh, well, I can have it now. Why
If
not?
you can afford it, why not? That's the luxury of it. And plus as well, you've worked hard for it.
Aye.
So is that wee thing in your head like, well, I've worked for it. I feel like I get
Treat
that.
yourself.
Treat yourself. Aye,
Shut
that wee
the
voice in your
fuck
head.
up, man.
That treat yourself, no, I mean, that's fucking empty my bank accounts more than anything, man.
That's the thing, mate. And see, when I looked back on that and went, oh, I've spent all that money in such a short period of time. I reckon on clays and all that, I probably spent about 30 grand on clays.
What, on
and
that
shit.
70 grand you're talking about?
Aye. And I mean, I still probably buy, like, I still buy nice clays and stuff like that. I mean, I'm willing for fucking I have got Balenciaga trainers on or whatever, but I was wearing a full Primark trackie coming in here.
Aye.
A t-shirt for you that I'm just paying a score for. Do you get what I mean?
That's a bargain,
There
bro.
we
That's a
go, it's
bargain.
hanging.
£20 for a belt to a t-shirt. There you go.
But-
You know, break your bank without buying that.
But this is the thing, like I still buy nice clothes, not like, oh, if I go and get a suit for an event, I'll buy a nice suit, or like I still spend money on clothes, but then it was like to prove something.
Prove it
no
to yourself.
reason.
It's like one of the ones you're buying it because you can. You're just wanting
Aye, it's
all the
pure-
best of
that's
gear.
it. It's purely just because
Wear it
I am
once,
doing this
never wear it
because
again.
I can. That's why I'm doing it because I can. That's it. So I wasted all that money, and that made me realise, oh fuck. Like I need to. Maybe I don't make still the greatest financial decisions with my own money, right? When it comes to my business and my own personal income, is two different things. Some people might go, oh my god, like going to Marbella for a week and spending £5,000-6,000 in a week. I'm like, aye, that's all well and good, but I don't go out in Glasgow. So see if I go, like I'm going to Vegas next week, for example, right? And maybe I might spend a few grand in Vegas. But see if you go out twice a week in Glasgow and you spend 100-200 quid twice per week in Glasgow, you're probably spending the same across a year as I do on 2 weeks of holiday.
Aye.
And granted, I'm going somewhere nice and maybe having a better time. Do you know what I mean? And also not getting mad with it every week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably not that different in spending terms, but can't go, oh, that's a waste of money, you're stupid with your money. And like, I find you go and sit in Gabriel's or fucking like the grapes.
The Govan
Do
Arms.
you know what I mean? Exactly. You go and sit in the Viceroy, you fucking gimp. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't care.
It's
Like,
just jealousy, mate. That's what the cunts will be saying because they're not sitting there. They're sitting fucking in the same shithole there every weekend.
Exactly, mate. But it's a sobering experience realising how much money you spent, and you feel sick, mate. See, like, you ever watch the Clyde One cash call? When they phone cunts, and if you don't pick up, they phone you, and it could be like 100 grand.
I've heard
And if you
it on the
If you
radio.
don't answer it, you see that feeling that I imagine cunts must get where they check their phone, it's like Clyde One missed call. Oh my god, if I answered that, I'd have had 100 grand. It's that same feeling. You're sitting and you feel sick, mate. You're like, holy fuck.
I'm like that after a weekend on the Charlie, man. I've spent all my money. It's probably a bit different. It's no
How
70
many
grand.
3
but
for
it's,
a hundreds have you
oh,
done,
mate, then you're like, that, fuck, I've ticked, I know. It's like that. I remember one weekend I got a tax rebate, and by the fucking Monday I was like 200 quid in debt. I'm like, what the fuck happened to all that money? Where'd it go?
How's that happen, mate?
And it's like, I
How's
should
that
talk about
happen?
spending a couple of grand. I could easily do it, but I wouldn't fucking leave the house.
See, the thing that's dangerous, mate. See, when you start making money and you get a better credit rating, and like I've got, see, like the American Express Platinum card, right? Let me
Oh,
show
really?
you.
Fuck,
It's
no,
a
I've seen
fucking
one of
mental,
them.
right? So I'll show you now. Hopefully you've not got photographic memory, right? But see this? The only
I've known
one
what the iPhone has.
the
No, I
only
kid,
one
no.
of this, if you want-
Oh, fuck. Fuck's sake, man.
The reason I say this, right,
Amazing.
is there's one above that's the black card, the Centurion. See this card, it doesn't have a limit. See if you gave me a card with no limit when I was going through my helmet phase, I'd be dead.
A
Or
million
I'd
%.
be in so much debt. Like, see, now that I understand money, man, I'm better with money, I can take something like that and go, oh, I'll pay, like, see the deposit on my motor? I paid the deposit with that card, and then paid the card after, so that I got all the points after the card, so then I can get a holiday cheaper next time I
Right.
book. Do you get what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So, doing shit like that, but see, shit like this is so dangerous. Like, imagine you were a pure wreckhead, or you were just like somebody with a pure addiction problem or something, and you had access to a card like that. That your life is ruined within 2
Oh,
weeks, mate.
1,000,000%.
I mean, your whole financial future is fucked for life because of a card like that. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to get debt these days. Like, so easy. Do you know what I mean? You can get, any cunt can get a credit card. Like, and it's all these weekend heroes, mate. This is a joke I always make, going back to Sanctuary again, right? And Hunter's my mates go to Sanctuary. It's just, purely for me, I don't like that type of music. I don't like dance music.
I've never
It's
been to Sanctuary.
It's not my thing. I've never been either.
Fucking let in. Always been knocked back.
I'm just down the road as well. Like, I'm only 2 minutes down the road in the West End, but it's just not my thing. But I mind someday, do you mind the video of all the cunts fighting in Sanctuary? And the boy picks up the big massive bottle of Belvedere and flings it like a tomahawk, right?
Oh wait, I'm not sure if I say it. It rings a bell, but
somebody retweeted it and said, "This is the boys fighting on who has the biggest clarinet bill," right? So that's the type. I'm not saying specific just to cunts going there, but that's the society we're in, mate. That cunts are like willing to put themselves in debt to look a certain way.
oh, 1,000,000%.
Do you know what I mean? And it's a
1,000,000%.
shame, and I feel bad sometimes going, fuck, am I adding to that? Like, it's me because I've got a couple of nice motors and a nice house and some nice clays and all that. Am I the cunt that's making wee Davey or James go, fucking hell, man, look at this cunt, he's got all that stuff and fucking blah, blah, and I've got fuck all. So sometimes I have to battle myself and go, am I adding to that and making it worse? Do you know what I mean?
You sit and need to have a word with yourself because you look at it as it's social media, it's odd, don't you? Not so much one person, but obviously there's people, you know, there's people that date for the wrong reasons. There is people like your influencers, they'll post this kind of life that they don't live just to make it look as if they're having
Most
the best life
influencers
ever.
make no money, mate. I'm serious. See, most influencers you see, especially ones that have got under 200k followers, make no dough. Like, I'm being serious. See the amount of stuff that people, like, I'll get crypto companies that saying to me, oh, we'll give you 2-3 grand to post this on your social media, or we'll give you a free thing. Like, no offence, mate, what am I meant to do with your free thing? Like,
So what's the free thing, do they say?
like, see, have you ever seen Skull Shaver before? For example, they emailed me the other day, Skull Shaver,
But
right?
the wee thing you put in your horn, shave your head with?
Boom. They messaged me saying, can you post this to your social media network that you have grown for fucking many years, that is nearly 100,000 people combined for a free electric thing that shaves your head? I was like, firstly, you smelly bastard, I go to the barbers. I don't shave my fucking head. I was like, secondly, what am I meant to do with a mad free thing? They're like, aye, but it's worth $200. I'm like, how much does that cost you to make? £5 or something? And by the way, great business, good margins and that, good on you. I said, but all these under 100k, under 200k influencers, they're getting sent free shit, maybe the odd payment and all that, and that you get to this point where it becomes like you post so many partnerships, it's like, is that genuine? Do you actually wear that brand? Do you actually use the vitamins? Like, do you actually do all the shit you're saying? Like, so many cunts, like, people can say what they want online about people, right? And everyone is entitled to their own opinion, good or bad, right? And see, the thing is, I might meet someone and be in a good mood that day, and they might go, wow, Richard Dickson's a nice guy. And then I might meet someone at the wrong time and they might think Richard Dickson's a wank. Both they people are right in the right moment. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's the same with everybody.
So these opinions are fine. And see, the thing is, cunts can say what they want. I know that I walk the walk. What I say I do is what I do every day. Like, I've built up a good life in it, and then you get these influencers that I'm like, why are you lying? Because you can't do it for real. You just need to fucking put a bit more effort in. That's why I see them. I'm like, is it really worth hooring yourself out on social media and all that to get a free fucking jumpsuit for Boohoo?
Do
you get what I mean?
Look at Katie Price, like, she advertised that mad fraudster. So she advertised the guy, oh, I've done business with him, he's great in that, then end up fucking frauding some mad woman out of fucking all sorts, aye. This woman's saving, and
That's
Katie
Stephen
Price
Bear
that chaired
done it and all.
Who?
See that Bear? For Love
Oh,
Island,
Bear,
whatever his
aye.
name is? He done it with a boy that I know. Somebody took a boy, that happens to me as well, right? They take all your photos off Instagram, they make an account, David Smith Crypto or something, but it's my photos, and they go and message cunts saying, hi, I am David Smith from California, blah, 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 and cunts send them dough. So a boy I know, somebody had bumped all his photos and made this David Smith account, messaged Bear and said, I'll send you $1,000 if you make a story about me. And that Bear posted a story. He sorted my investments and that, and it was a mad Nigerian scammer cunt. And he's bumped all sorts of people. That Bear was like, oh, delete that story. But he's already bumped probably fucking 20-30 quid off all these cunts.
That's insane.
Do you know what I mean?
It goes to say, not to sit and slag off anything, but some people you're like, you've not made it hard for them, know what I mean? Some of them, you're like, anybody that's like the Nigerian prince scam, or your granddad's a Nigerian prince, he's left you $1 million, just send me your bank details, or stick it in your bank. There's cunts that actually fall for that shit.
Do you know
And
what I
you're
think's
just like,
funny?
It's
Imagine there was one real Nigerian prince out there, like, why isn't he replying my emails? Do you know what I mean?
Sitting with just
Feel
a fucking
raging,
vault behind
all
him.
this dough sitting there.
sitting and tap with a pile of gold and fucking silver on his phone. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, that I think it's so funny with all the mad scams, mate. It's like, sometimes, see some of the scams I've seen cunts fall for, I'm like, I'm not even angry at the scammer, I'm angry at you for being so fucking stupid, falling for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame at the same time, but I'm like, how did you think that was real? Really? Do you know what I mean? Like, when you watch cunts on Catfish and all that, I think they're going out with like Katy Perry, send her donut. I'm like, do you actually think you're riding Katy Perry? Are you stupid?
Aye, that is mad.
It's
It's
nuts,
mad. There's
mate.
some people like that. But I nearly get done with it. It was maybe not similar, but they text the post office scams. You get a text because I was waiting on a parcel. It said your parcel's been held. It'll be a £2 whatever. You need to pay it, or it'll get sent back or some shit like that. And I was afraid. I'm like, shit, panic. And I went in, clicked the link, and then I was typing in all my details, and I was doing my bank details, and I'm like, wait a minute, they've asked me a shitload of information about me.
Mo's maiden name, that.
All that, name, address, and
First
I'm like,
pet.
how did they know any of this? And I'm like, I just stopped deed. It was a Friday and all, and then I was working, and I just finished working. I seen a postman, and I went and clicked chapped his window, and I showed him it. He's like, I mean, that's a scam. All sorts of cunts getting done with that. I was ready, but I know, see, just that week, I was waiting on something, so I was mere.
They got you a pure good time.
Aye.
But mate, you get all these mad scams and hacks and all that. Like, it happens. I've been hacked before, but I've never been like scammed. Well, I bought something on eBay when I was a wee guy that never came. I don't know if the cunt deliberately scammed me or it got lost in the post, but that's the only time I think I've ever been bumped, really. But I've been hacked before, but it's so easy for all that stuff to happen.
Right, getting hacked?
Oh,
it's
so easy.
happens every day.
So easy.
What did they do when they hacked your
Hacked
account?
my Snapchat, mate.
Oh,
so,
your Snapchat?
So I don't have Snapchat anymore. So if you're talking to me on Snapchat, it's not me. So I had Snapchat for when I was a wee boy, like 16 or something like that, right? So then maybe 3 years ago-ish, I deleted the app off my phone. So it's a load of shit. Don't talk to them doing it. It's all just people I don't really know. I just deleted it. So I deleted the app and put it into the back of my head and kind of thought, oh, my account is deleted, but your account's still there. So I'm talking maybe 6 months ago, right? I go on my phone and I don't have Instagram notifications on because I get too many messages. So I click on my Instagram DM, like up the right corner, just click on the wee fucking DM symbol, and I've got like 15 DMs off of like lassies I used to chat to and all that, right? Or just lassies I knew. And I'm like, oh, okay. Every single one. Why the fuck have you just sent me that on Snapchat? Who the fuck are you talking to? And like lassies with boyfriends and that, like, do you not know I have a boyfriend? And I'm like, what? And I'm replying like, what you thought about? I was like, can you screenshot and send me it? But it was like, mate, see if somebody was like trying to chat to the world, alright, how are you, blah 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 blah. It was like, hello sexy princess, show me bobs and all that. Like, I'm like, did you think that was me? Like, I'm a fucking intellectual, I'm not a fucking idiot. So I was like, what the fuck, right? So I've logged in to my Snapchat quickly, right? The cunt messaged 100 lassies. Like I probably had a couple of thousand friends on it, and as I'm logging in, I'm seeing the next message, right? So I've quickly went and deactivated the account, right, and closed it down. I've been like, fuck's sake, right? So I posted my story on Insta. If anyone's had a message from me on Snapchat, it's not me. Like, really sorry. I thought it was deleted. I didn't have the app on my phone, right? So, but I'm getting pelters off of birds, and I'm trying to explain to them, look, fucking tell your stupid boyfriend it wasn't me. Like, I apologise. I wouldn't have messaged you, right? So next thing, I get this email, right? This random email address, right? Saying, I am Snapchat hacker. So I'm like, right, whatever, right? So I just ding it. Next thing, I get another email for it. A photo of my cock. The cunt had went into my Snapchat memories and found all sorts of photos of me with the bobby out, mate.
What?
Swear to God, mate. So I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go, right? So the cunt messaged me saying, send me $500 of Bitcoin to this wallet address, or I'm going to post your cock everywhere. So I replied, I got his email, right? Searched his email and found an Instagram account that was attached to that email. It was a mad Turkish guy, right? So, by the way, he's probably watching this. He follows me on Instagram and that. But I think we've kind of got a friendship now. It's weird. He follows me on Instagram, likes my stuff and that, right? But he tried to extort me for money for photos of my bobby, right? So, long story short, I've emailed him back, like, because he was from Turkey, and Turkey's predominantly a Muslim country. Generally, like, they don't like gay people, right? So he's got photos of my cock. So I went, oh, I'm just going to bam this guy up. I'm like, bro, are you gay? And he's like, no, there's anything wrong with me. I don't care, right? But I was like, are you gay? And he's like, no. I said, well, mate, sending photos of my sword about, mate, like, that's a bit, that's a bit suspect. And he's like, no. I like pure getting raging about it, right? So I said to him, I said, look, mate, I said, I'm not sending you any money. I said, if I took the photos, I must have liked them. So if you want to post them, just go and post them. And as far as I know, they've never been posted. This might be his motivator, but he was just sending me emails, just photos of me naked, mate, saying send me money, and I was like, get the fuck, mate.
What the fuck? How long ago was this?
6 months ago.
And was it just recently then?
Aye.
Oh fuck, is it? And the guy still follows you?
Aye. Legend, mate. Demir, if you're watching this, love you, bro.
Demir, you big pervert.
I know, mate. Mad sword watcher.
Do you think he's been following you then? He's like, know what? I'm going to hack that cunt. Do you think he's been following you first then?
Well,
like that?
Here's the thing, right? So, see when you go on Safari,
Aye.
right? I went on Safari one day and it came up a mad warning. See, because you've got keychain that saves all your passwords.
Aye.
And it said, like, one or more of your passwords has appeared in a data leak. And I just dinged it. I just went, whatever, fucking some shite. Just dinged it. So I don't know if it's been leaked somehow or whatever. I don't know how, because I didn't get a text saying, oh, are you looking to change your Snapchat password or something like that. I didn't get in like that. So I honestly don't know how we get in, but I think if I'd have caught that data leak king, that might have been it. But I couldn't tell you.
So what's a data leak?
like, see everything that's saved on your computer, everything you post on the internet is there forever. If you delete a post on this, it's still somewhere on the internet. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
It never disappears. So hackers will, I don't know, maybe get into your iCloud or get into Snapchat's back end kind of thing. I don't really know how it works. And steal, also, say 10,000 data profiles, so 10,000 people's phone numbers, email addresses, blah 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 blah, and maybe the odd time a password as well, and maybe they sell them on the dark web. I honestly don't know, but I just said that it appeared in a data leak. I'm not 100% sure how it works.
So it's possible. It's just it's fancy talk for basically some cunt hacked the fuck out of us and your shit might be compromised.
Exactly, and somebody's went, oh fuck, let's tax this boy's fucking email address and password and try and get dough out of him.
It's fucking intricate as fuck, man. See all that? It goes there in my head. See, even try to learn about it. Do even try to like even discuss it or try and get into it. It's fucking a different level, but it's happening all the time. You see a lot of it, and some of them
celebrities
and that, they get hacked and then they're messaging underage birds, and I'm like, did you get hacked or were you just heavy mad one night?
Aye, exactly, mate. That's the thing with some of them, and it's a shame because see if you're daft enough to send them money. Do you know? I think every time that cunt's skint, he's gonna be like, I've got to go back and ask that cunt for another 100 quid. Do you get what I mean?
No, 100%. I'm not going to just go, cheers, mate, see you later.
Like, everybody's seen a naked body before. See if the cunt posted them, I'd have just been like, whatever. People are like, oh, you're not embarrassed about what your mom would think? No, I'm like, I don't care. My mom's probably heard me like shagging in my room when I stayed in the house. It's like, doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's whatever. Don't care.
I know. It's one of the ones. It's weird because it's. I could understand maybe if you're a bird or something, maybe it's a bit different.
For sure.
A bit
100%.
But for a guy, you're like, fuck it, man. It'd probably do you a favour. You can probably get birds like that. Oh, look, Charlie, I've seen your photos. Cheers, I just
if you're a woman, 100%, I'd say it's different. Obviously, I don't know what it would be like, but I would imagine it would be like, you'd be judged well more, which is wrong, but...
I mean, if it was a guy, couldn't be like laughing. The shit is funny. If it was a bird, obviously the bird, you know what I mean. It's weird how different it is, and it's a shame. It shouldn't be that way, but that's just the way it is.
Aye, 100%, mate.
But I watched some of your videos, and I see you're quite a big fan of Dan Bilzerian. When did you start? Because I seen you doing a couple of breakdowns. When did you start?
I need to do another one on him. Part like 3 or something has been sitting waiting for about 6 months, right? Because I kind of lost motivation for YouTube for a wee bit, right? But I was just sitting one day and I was watching Dan Bilzerian, right? And I just think he's a bit of a cock in general, right? For probably the same reasons that cunts would say that about me. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
And I was just like, this guy's a helmet. And I kind of just thought I would look into him a bit more, like Dan Bilzerian facts. And I was like, oh, his dad's like highly successful. I was like, oh, that's weird, right? And then I was looking at people on like the poker tour and that. So I put in like Dan Bilzerian poker highlights. Nothing comes up. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. This cunt's high stakes poker player. Apparently one of the best guys in the world now. He's never played on a poker tour. There's no videos of him playing poker. He was apparently in the Special Forces, but then he wasn't really because he had a heart attack or something like that. It all just didn't make sense to me, and I was like, it's time for me to become an investigative journalist for this one.
Check this out.
And I just went right into it, and I was like breaking it all down and looking at it, seeing how Paul Bilzerian, Dan's father, had set up a trust for Dan and his brother, and then when he launched Ignite, see them had CBD company done, I was like, I looked into Ignite, I realised that they'd raised all this money on bad loans. The business wasn't making any money. It was burning 50 million a year at that point. It's now burning more money. It's getting fucking worse. Now, they might be burning all this money on this amazing next bit of technology, and when it comes out it's going to be worth $1 billion and they write off all their debt. Like, I don't know, but from what I've seen, I'm like, this cunt's living a heavy lie, mate. Like, now, he's clearly got money. It's probably his dad's money. And by the way, see if I end up super successful and I can help my wains, I will do that, 100%. I'm not going to say, oh, fuck you, go and date yourself. That's what I done. Like, I will give them money to help them fucking start something up. Like, if I can give them a leg up, I will. But I was like, the life that he's got is real. Like, he's got all these birds and he's got money and all that and nice motors and all that kind of stuff. I said, but how he's saying he's got it is not real. I said, I need to fucking find this out. So I've been scoping the cunt, mate. Like, and I need to do another video on him because it's just get worse. It's just get worse and worse.
I've not heard about him in ages. Is he still about?
Aye.
I thought it's because it was people. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and obviously his dad in time for fraud, and that's where it's looking like, because a lot of the money that he got done with fraud and it disappeared, And then it's obviously, but a lot of people think this money's went into this trust fund because if he's gave it to them, him and his brother, he's managed to cover it up. There's people that watch him play poker, he's like, there's no way. He's no good. He's shite.
He's terrible at poker, mate.
Aye.
Like, that's the thing I've read about is people talking about, because, like, what is it they call them in betting? In casinos and stuff like that, you get sharps and you get squares, right? Squares are, unless you're amazing at gambling, I don't know, squares are cunts like me and you who go in with 100 quid or even more and sit down and play blackjack. The house is favourite against us because we're just casual players. Then you get sharps who are the fucking top boys who know their shit, right? See, if you're a sharp in Las Vegas, see you get banned for the area, like a big casino in Las Vegas, they're going to phone every cunt else, ban this cunt, because they don't want sharps playing.
Aye.
So these cunts are then put into like playing money matches for cash in cunts' houses, not basically just organising, I think I'm better than you, fucking let's play for 100 grand. And they'll turn up and play because these sharps are so good that they don't want them in casinos. So people were saying, oh yeah, Dan Bilzerian's a sharp, like, that's why he doesn't play at casinos, only plays his money matches. Cunts that have played in houses with Dan Bilzerian are like, this cunt is a fucking idiot. Like, he's so bad. And then people say, oh, he doesn't go to casinos because he's too good. No, he doesn't go to casinos because then too many cunts see him being shit.
Pumped, see him losing all his money.
Like, he's being crap. And at the end of the day, mate, there's very, very, very few people in the world who are true professional gamblers, mate. It's the hardest profession in the world, surely, in terms of actual numbers and odds. Like, it's so difficult. So for him to say, oh yeah, high stakes poker and I've won this and that, like somebody was talking about, I can't remember if it was maybe Spencer Cornelia on YouTube, his account I really like following, or maybe Coffeezilla or something like that, just like one of the account that I really like, and they were talking about how someone that they'd spoken to who's like a pro poker player, like on the tour, that full tilt fucking world tour or whatever, was like, see the money Dan Bilzerian claims to have made for poker, like Dan Bilzerian said, oh, I played this one match this time, and he's telling the story, and I fucking won 20 million and then I lost 25 million. He's like, this boy's saying, and this is like a number, like top 10 poker player in the world, he's like, that doesn't happen. He's like, that's no the money cunts play with. He's like, maybe if you're like a Russian billionaire on a boat with your Russian fucking billionaire mates, you're maybe playing for that. He's like, but this cunt talk about going and playing cunts matches in somebody's kitchen, sitting playing. He's like, that doesn't happen. He's like, do you know how big 25 million in cash is? Do you know what that fucking looks like?
Cunt with two holdalls like that.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
aye.
Mate,
that is ridiculous when you actually break it down.
Mate. Do you know what I mean? And now, by the way, do I think he's a helmet? Yeah. The same way cunts think I'm a helmet, right? Do I also accept there's probably stuff the cunt could teach me? 100%. But I was just obsessed with finding out, okay, what's the fucking real story here? Like, where did this money come from? Like, what did Paul Bilzerian do to be able to have all this money to then give to Dan and his brother? What's the script with Ignite? Is Ignite going to work? Is Dan ran out of money from his dad, so now he's raising money against the shares of Ignite to then fund his lifestyle? Because see he had this big mansion thing that he was renting, which, by the way,
he was claiming he bought.
To claim to buy it and then rent something makes you a helmet. Renting is fine. I rent my house. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to buy my house. People go, you're a property investor, why you not buy it? Like, I had no interest in buying my house. I don't want to. My money's better used on projects. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, if Dan wants to rent his house, that's fine, but just don't say you buy it. But it was something like, he was paying like 2 million a month to rent that thing, but it was getting paid through the Ignite accounts. And like all in their account statement, like their end of year accounts, when you go through it, like it's far more detailed in America. They issued this big statement and all that, and there was so many costs on there that were just personal expenses. Do you know what I mean? He was just spending money on himself, but charging Ignite. If you were an investor, they gave him £10 million for this state of the art CBD company just for him to get patty licked off his gooch. You're not going to be happy, mate.
No, not at all, man.
Do you know what I
not
mean? The Ignite's never made a penny.
I think Ignite's in the shit. I'm surprised. Is it still no trading as such, but is it still active?
It still exists. It's not been struck off yet, but I can't see it being around for much longer. And he'll just put that down the pan and walk away.
They're just on to the next one, and he becomes the fraudster.
Like father, like son.
Like
my dad was a spark. I was a spark. Do you know what I mean? There we go.
Fuck aye, man.
He's a fucking helmet, Dan Bilzerian, mate. It's just, I can't really... the lifestyle, not if that's how you want to live, amazing, mate. If that's what you enjoy, I love cars, I love boats, fucking like all that shit's cool. But I'm like, I want the truth, mate.
No, because it doesn't. It's like a short fuse. It doesn't last long, and it is good. Everybody talking about it, but and see having everybody talk about all our social media, but it's now it's starting to catch up on them, because there's videos and that coming up. See, a couple of years ago, nobody fucking had a clue.
Nah,
Like
see, the
yourself,
thing
when
is-
did you start kind of investigating into it? Was it just recently?
It was probably about a year ago or something like that. I
So
was looking
fairly
at it.
recently to the
And,
time he's been
I
about.
mean, it was cunts like him and like your Dan Locks and all that, all these different kind of people online with these mad lives. I was like, I want to break this down and find out the truth, like where it started. Do you know what I mean? And see with Dan Bilzerian, for example, like, unless any of my friends are watching this and want to correct me, I've never met somebody who really likes Dan Bilzerian who have not thought, wow, you are a humongous fucking cunt. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's every 14-year-old virgin's
Aye.
favourite guy. Like, I maybe it's cool sitting on your boat with 10 birds there and that, but they don't even fancy you. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
Like,
They're all
so
hired.
if you
All paid
actually
by the
do
hour.
get to ride them, it's probably not even going to be that much fun, mate.
No.
You'd be better going up the Sav or something.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
Diamond Dolls or something.
That's the thing. Like, you'd actually be better doing that. Like, it's actually a pure sad life when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine him tucking himself in bed at night and he's just lying there like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nobody there with him. Fucking, I think it looks like a miserable life, mate.
I've
To
got
me.
to be. Imagine the fucking anxiety you've got. See, as he's burning through all this money, and it's, as you say, we Ignite, innit? Ignite. It's like, surely that's not got much long left. You must be like, you either need to face reality or go and fuck some cunt else there. That's your, and the two of the options to
That
somebody
is
in that kind
your
of
two
position.
options.
I know, it doesn't. Oof, the
Just
thought
your
of it.
life becomes a Ponzi scheme, as opposed to your Ponzi scheme being a business. That's your life. I've spent my dad's money. Now, granted, I don't think he owes his dad that money. I think his dad gave him it as a trust for him to have the money. But he's spent all his dad's money. Now he's raised money against Ignite, and Ignite looks like, I'm not certain, but it looks like it's going to fail. So then he's got all that debt there. Then he needs to get more money to pay that. Do you get what I mean? It's
Aye.
like his life just becomes a borrowing and paying cycle. Do you know what I mean? Which is a no way to live your life, mate.
Ah, definitely
Can't fucking
not.
sleep at night, man.
I know, and it's fucking the vast. It's the millions he's up into now. Well, probably billions.
Deca millions, tens of millions.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye, easy. I prefer my council govern, mate. You can keep your mad rented
Mate,
mansion.
aye,
pal.
exactly. There's
Fuck's
nothing
sake.
wrong with that, mate. Aye, fuck that being your life, mate. It'd be terrifying, man.
Aye. But I was seeing on your Instagram you were going to the Vortex Centre.
Yes.
Did a bit of cold
Gym.
water therapy.
Big Jim. Have you
I've
been
spoke-
yourself?
No, I've not. I
Oh.
did cold water therapy, but I've never been to the Vortex Centre. I was talking to Jim to try and get him in the podcast, but he wasn't up for it.
Oh, really?
He says he doesn't do podcast. I might be able to twist his arm. That was a while ago, so I might message him again, but he seems the kind
I
of guy...
might message him, mate, for
Aye.
you.
Aye.
I'll see if I can get you a
I
good
don't know
word,
if it's
but,
maybe just because it's one of the random ones, or maybe he'd be up for it, because I preach
see,
about cold water.
I'm not going to tell you anything about Jim's story here, right? But he's got a story, mate.
Oh, has he? Aye?
He's got a story, that guy. Like, seriously. And he's just has this energy about him, mate. He's just like, I love being in his company, mate. Anytime I've been there, been around him and all that. And see, like Paul McFadden, I introduced Paul to Jim, and Paul went and done work with Jim. So did Paul's mate Billy, like another guy I'm close with and all that. Like, I've sent loads of people up to see Jim. Like, I know guys that have been like, I mean, like, as good as dead, really, that have went and seen Jim and it's changed their lives.
Oh, really? Aye?
Mate, I'm no joking. And I'm no a airy-fairy type of cunt, mate. You're mad fucking horoscope pushing that. I'm not all about that. But I've seen firsthand people go into that place like shells, like skeletons walk in there, mate, and come back out with a new love for life.
Really? Aye?
I'm no joking, mate. Seriously.
I'd need to try this place out, because I've always looked at it, and it's one, and I wasn't too sure how much it was different, because sometimes I got to like Loch Lomond and that and jump in the water, but I'll get like a cold shower, a cold bath every day.
Uh-huh.
I did a Wim Hof breathing and that, and
Yeah.
as it's life changing, I preach to everybody. See, it's no. I'm kind of one of the cunts. I'm quite. See, if I believe in something, I'm pure in your face with it. So I'm ready.
100%,
I'm ready
mate.
for arse and neck and cunts into the lock in the middle
Aye.
of December. Know what I mean? But I'd like to check out this Vortex Centre, because I'm not sure that. I think it's a lot better than just jumping in the ice bath. I think
Mate,
that's what it's a day like meditation.
It's a
that kind of
full,
stuff.
it's a full day. So you can do like private days with Jim. Or he'll do like Friday night at the Vortex, and there'll be like 20 spaces, and it's like, I don't know, you pay 30 quid or whatever, and you go down, and you've got a yoga mat there, and he takes you through all the breathing and that. But when I first met Jim, I went and done one day, a full day, which I'm talking 9 in the morning till like 3, 4 at night.
Oh,
with
really?
Jim.
Aye?
Aye. And all I done, he was like, no eating. He's like, just drink water. He was like, don't eat breakfast, nothing. He's just come and fucking, like, just come with an open mind. And I was like, I mind like saying to a couple of my mates, and they're like, have you got a cult of these cunts Mormons or something? Do you get what I mean? Like, they were like, what is this? And I went, and I was like, I don't know what to expect. I was like, but fuck it, I'm going to go full hog and go for a full day with the guy. and it was like nothing I've ever experienced, mate. Seriously, it was like, that was my first. Obviously, I'd had cold chills before and that, but I didn't really understand the whole breathing and all that shit. I was like, that's weird, mate. Like, all this constant there, that stuff's weird. And I went and I was like, I'll be honest, mate, I was in tears, mate.
Oh, really?
Seriously, mate, aye.
So do you feel as if just one session, like you felt the benefits
mate,
after that?
Do you know what I got, mate? I get the fucking mirror shone at me in the sense of shit I was denying. I had to face, mate. I had to face stuff that I was in denial about.
Oh, really?
Aye, like, seriously, mate. It's like...
This is all just for the one day with Jim?
Aye, and I've spent more time with Jim now.
Aye,
and
of
all
course,
that,
of
right?
course, but after that one session,
mate, I was lying there, right, in the living room, and it's in a house. Jim's got 2 houses, right? One is the Vortex, and his actual house is next door, right? And I was lying in the living room, and he took me through this wheel, right? And he's asked me different stuff about your life. What would you score yourself out of 10 in your relationships and this and that? And I was like, oh, a 5 and a 7 and a 10. And this wheel of all these things, and you join it up together, it makes this mad shape. And he, from that, kind of made a decision on, okay, this is what we're going to work on today. And he said to me, he said, why did you come here? Like, why did you come to the Vortex? And I said, because I can't keep a relationship with Lassie. And he went, why? He's like, are you a cheater? Like, what is it? He says, just be honest. And I said, I'm too jealous. I said, I can't do it. I said, I have bad problems with retroactive jealousy. I said, like, if I find out I know somebody that lassie's been with, I don't want to speak to them anymore. Because I'm like, oh, fuck, I just can't do it because I'm so jealous. And he was like, right, okay. He's like, that's what we need to work on then. And now, here's me sitting, I guess I'm seeing somebody new now and all that, but I basically was at this crossroads. I was like, if I don't fix the fact that I'm jealous, if I don't do something, I'm never going to sustain a relationship. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have Waynes because I'm going to find something that I'll be jealous about and dispute. And I had to accept that was me. And that's what I went to Jim for. And he said, we can't focus on just that one thing. It's like your whole life, right? He said, go up and look at yourself in the mirror. And I looked at myself in the mirror, right? And he said to me, just take a good look at yourself. He said, what do you see? And I was like, fucking hell, the bags under my eyes, just like laughing and that, like just looking at me. And I just looked tired because I probably was tired because I was busy and all that, right? And he said, just remember what you look like. And I was like, right, okay. Fucking, what am I going to wake up a fucking ginger cunt with a face tattoo or something? So I lay down, right? And he took me through the breathing exercises, right? You know, you get the tingles in your hands and all that, right? And mate, I was seeing all these colours and all that, right? I felt like I was looking at myself. I felt I'd came at my body and I was looking at myself. Experience? Aye. And mate, I was sweating so much, right? And now we've went through the rounds of breathing and Jim's kind of stopped speaking and I've kind of started to come to a bit and he's like, just relax. He's like, don't sit up too fast, just relax. And I've opened my eyes and I said to Jim, I went, Jim, that's the craziest 10-15 minutes of my life. And he went, it's been 2.5 hours.
What?
Yup.
Fucking
I
hell.
went, what? And he's like, we've been meditating for 2.5 hours. And I'm like, seriously? And he said to me, turn your phone off, leave it in the motor. He says, you're not allowed to look at your phone today. And he showed me his watch and I was like, mate, I thought it was 10 minutes. I woke up, right, and I had a joggies on like this, just cheap joggies, right? Grey ones. Mate, I'm not joking, my sweat was black. Like, toxic, mate. And he was like, that's the first time you've ever been able to relieve your body of stress. He said, now, I don't have any crazy trauma in my life. I wasn't fucking molested as a way. Not like some of the shit people I know who I've met at the Vortex Centre, the reasons why they've went there, mate, my life's a scoosh, mate. A scoosh. But I've never known how to turn stress off. We all have stress. Mm-hmm. And he went, go and look at yourself in the mirror. Mate, I seen a different person.
Really?
I was like, I look younger, not I look older, that. Mate, the bags in my eyes gone. Gone. Like, I was looking at myself and I was like, and I just had this flowy emotion, mate. I just burst out greeting. And I'm in touch with my emotions, mate. People will be like, oh, greeting, that's soft. And I'd be like, I could probably leather you, mate. It doesn't bother me. So, but I just burst out greeting, mate. I was like, because I was at this point in my life where I'd had a couple of relationships and that, and they just hadn't worked. And I was like, because having a relationship suits my life. I don't care for really going out, getting mad out and finding out. It's not been my thing. And I was like, I need to have a relationship that works. I want somebody that understands me now, but I understand that I have flaws as well and I need to solve them. And I feel bad because I've fucking had relationships that could have been good that I've just walked away from and left people upset. through just being like, I don't know how to work this out. So the easiest thing for me to do is say, by the way, I don't expect to any more, block you and disappear. That was the easiest thing for me to do. And I was like, there was so, in my head, my whole life was relying on that one day at the Vortex. I was like, if I can't solve this, I can't have the life I've imagined, the wife, the wains, and I just can't have that. Like, what is my life going to be? And see, just understanding, just feeling this, all this fucking stress and anger towards certain people not disappear. And that was just for the breathing. Then I went out and I just see that feeling of clarity when you sit in the ice. And I was just sitting there and I was like, that was the first day of new life for me.
Oh, do you really? So do you think almost as if you've been reborn?
Aye.
For that day?
Aye.
So do you feel to this day that it's
Yes.
still in effect?
Yes.
How long ago
Yes.
was that?
First time I seen Jim was probably just over a year ago.
Just a year ago, obviously you've went back a few times and you feel since that year it's like your life has totally changed dramatically.
Aye.
So how's your relationships now, if you don't mind me asking?
So, you mean, you need to look at specific situations as well, right? So sometimes stuff just doesn't work.
Of
right?
course.
Stuff just doesn't work. So, I've had relationships where, and now, by the way, some people will that's not me saying I've conquered jealousy. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is I'm able to understand my emotions better. Now, if someone deliberately steps out and tries to make you jealous, I am not going to go, I have mastered jealousy so I can get past that. I'm going to go, oh, you're a cunt because you're trying to do that. So I'd still boost. Do you get what I mean?
Of course.
So now, I mean, I'm seeing someone new now, and you know, I've chatted to different people and all this kind of stuff. And actually, do you know what I feel? I feel it's not about how I feel about other people. I feel better about myself talking to people now. I feel, before I was scared, mate. I was like, oh my God, if I open up to this person and then I end up fucking like not liking something about them, it makes me, I'm making an arse of myself. Now, when I'm talking to someone, like just now, the girl I'm seeing, no made a debut on Instagram yet, so I'm not going to name it names.
Right, no worries,
but,
of course. Keep that identity under wraps.
Like a super intelligent person, like studying law and all that, right? And it's not been, we've only been talking for a wee while, not a long time, but I feel so much more confidence in myself with that person that I know that relationship's going to be better because I am a better version of me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Because it all does come from within.
Because I put my hands up and say, right, and I know this for a fact, see if I had been that version of myself, I would still be in a relationship now with people I'd been with in the past. Do you get what I mean? Like if I had mastered or started to understand myself a bit better, those relationships that wouldn't have ended in my life. Because I'm not a believer. See how cunts go, oh, there's one person in the world you can fall in love with and you're meant to be with one person. I'm like, oh, really? And it just happened to be that you're for Shettleston and the cunt you're meant to be in love with is for Baileystown. That's just how God made it, you fucking idiot. Do you get what I mean? I'm like, there's 100,000 people in the world that you could be with for the rest of your life. That's my opinion, right? So I know for a fact that if I'd have been a better version of myself then, I'd probably still be in a relationship. Do you get what I mean? But that's the past and you need to work going forward. So for me, I'm like, I'm the best. If I'm going to succeed in a relationship, now's the best chance I've had in my life. Do you get what I mean? But I don't put pressure on it like that. Like, oh my God, like, fuck, I'm 25. Like, I need to purely have a relationship. Like, I'm just happy to be, like, sure of myself now. Oh, I'm more confident in my relationships now. I'm a confident person anyway, but I'm more confident in my relationships now that I can understand and work with my emotions better, that I won't have that hinder something that's good. If something's shite, I'll cut it off because it's shite. But I feel more confident in myself, and that's because I took that time, that investment in myself to understand, oh, I need to break down these walls of why do I feel like this.
100%, because you don't realise it's like a lot of the stuff you do project into the world comes from within, but you don't realise it. It's to see if you find faults in other people. Usually it's a lot to do with what you maybe find a fault in yourself. That's me personally, what I do find. But it's strange, see, I talk about like the breathing and all that kind of stuff, so I used to be like, I know, you sit in a room, fucking breathe, and what? It was like, I thought it was bizarre, but this was been getting done for like thousands of years. It's only like in the past couple of years it's been forgotten about, but no, I think humanity's starting to find its roots again. And when you do it, you're like, it's life changing. Sitting in a room and breathing.
See, the thing is as well, right? Forget about breathing as the breathing exercises, right? Like, humans, we all know I'm saying we all know the value of breathing, obviously, because we breathe to survive, right? But what I mean is, see when you're upset and you're hysterically greeting, calm down, deep breaths. Deep breaths. That's what people say to you. Because that's thousands of years of knowing that was so good for you. Do you get what I mean? But we've just lost the reason why we say that. Do you get what I mean? So cunts know the value of it. It's just that it's no like that tuned in. Do you get what I mean? Mate, see the breathing exercise, not in the clarity it gives you. Even if you don't have time to jump in the cold, even if all you're doing is just, I've got a spare 15-20 minutes, let me breathe. I even do it in the sunbed sometimes.
I've been doing it in the sunbed, so you just turning the music not doing the voice guide after to be an annoying fucking woman.
Aye.
And then just sitting, and it's amazing, see, because you've got the heat and that, it's brilliant. You
Feels
come out
so
it feeling
good.
like a new man.
It's incredible, mate. Like, that's the thing. It's just like, it's so good. And I do the opposite. See with the Wim Hof, it's like volume breathing sometimes.
It's
taking deep breaths,
hyperventilating.
and then you're holding that breath for so long. What I like doing sometimes, especially in heat, if I'm in a sauna or something like that, is I'll try and lower myself down to the least amount of breaths per minute as possible. So I'll sit in a sauna and take, I would say, a breath every 45 seconds for like 10 minutes. So you've maybe only, in the space of 10 minutes, you're maybe only breathing 13, 14 times. But it's like, it's the total opposite for the Wim Hof thing, but I still like the feeling from it, because all you're thinking about is, it makes your mind quiet, right? Because see, when you're freezing cold in cold water, all you can you can't think about, oh fuck, what stress have I got at work on Monday. You're thinking, oh my god, I'm freezing,
Aye.
I'm going to fucking die. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's what you're thinking. And same when you're breathing. Like, if you were fucking choking somebody, they're not thinking, oh fuck, what do I need to make for dinner tonight? They're thinking, all I care about is breathing.
The immediate
So
danger.
it gives you this, I don't want to say peace, maybe peace isn't the right word, but this focus, where all you can think about is that. Because you have to, because you're going to die if you don't breathe. Do you get what I mean? So I like lowering it right down to just the point where I'm like hardly breathing. That's good as well. I like that.
Have you ever tried the sauna? See, some people do the sauna, like they do the sauna for 5 minutes and jump and, like, see, most places haven't go in it, but they'll do like the ice
plunge
bath.
pools?
The plunge pools and
Yeah.
that, and they'll do like 5 minutes in each.
Aye.
I've never tried it. I'd love to do it.
It's good.
It's just trying to find, there's the nearest gym, well, the kind of sauna and that for here is this village, but I don't think they have a plunge pool, and that's one I'd really love to try.
They don't have a plunge pool. And there's a lassie that works in the village. She's got a shite attitude, you cow.
Oh, really?
Oh, bitch, man. I
I
hope
can
she's
imagine there's
watching
a
this later.
couple in there. I've only been in there in the wee bar bits.
But mate,
How was she done?
She's just, when it was like during like COVID and that, and we're opening back up, me and Antonio were in, and they had tape around the machines to show, like, if you're using the machine, stay inside this bit of tape. And then obviously one person in at a time, and me and Tony were doing like a superset, right, on 2 different machines, and I was doing like tricep pull downs, and like, say this is the line, my fit was like here, I was like half a pinky toe on Tony Square, and she came out like fucking Chairman Mao fucking screaming at me like I was in the fucking communist dictatorship of China. And I just turned around and was like, who are you talking to, Jimmy? Shut up. And then I basically just went down and cancelled my membership because of her, and I was like, fuck you.
Aye, fuck that.
David
I don't need
Lloyd at
that shit.
Annie's Land have a plunge pool.
Where? Annie's Land?
David Lloyd
Or
at
David
Annie's
Lloyd in
Land.
Annie's Land?
They have a plunge pool, but it doesn't. It's no cold enough.
Is it
to be
not?
honest?
See, sometimes with the plunge pools on us, see, because I don't know what it is. I used to go to the time capsule years ago and go in the plunge pool there. and
Time capsule.
I don't think they cleaned it, and sometimes you jump in, you're like, and you can't just back at it because it just feels pure manky.
Aye. There's an amazing one at, see if you're ever through St Andrews way, see the Kohler Waters Spa in St Andrews, the Old Course Hotel. They've got one that's like, it only fits one person. See the one at David Lloyd and Annie's Land? You can sit in it with a couple of people.
Oh,
but
see.
the plunge pool at the Kohler Waters Spa is like a set of 3 metre long ladders that you can just like, it's 3 metres deep.
Right.
It only fits one person.
Oh, so you
and
can just
it's like,
climb down to a certain point.
it's like a degree. It's 1 degree. That's how cold it is.
Right.
And I think people say for cold water exposure to work correctly, the water needs to be under 14 degrees. That's what they say.
Oh, really? Is it?
Under
Aye, I
14
thought it
degrees.
was right. I didn't realise it was fucking...
As high as that?
Aye,
you wouldn't
aye.
think? So that one's like 1 degree, so you can go right out the sauna, right into that. It's fucking exceptional, mate.
Is
it
it?
feels so
I
good.
really need to
Oh.
try it. I think the village just get the cold showers, but it's not the same. I want to try
Do
the...
you know the worst bit about saunas and cold water? They both make your cock tiny. Do you get what I mean?
Oh,
So if
fuck.
you're in the
All
sauna,
the-
you're
all the happens.
dehydrated, wee outy belly button, then you go, it's like you're in the hot and then you go to the cold, and it's just like, it's so embarrassing,
your
mate.
dick's like, what's going on here, mate?
Exactly, it's like
I'm
a
about you, man.
baked
These are
bean
shouting
wearing
you're
a
dry,
turtleneck.
there.
Do you know what I mean? It's fucking brutal, man.
Aye, mate.
That's the
aye.
worst thing about it.
Aye, but it helps with the circulation, apparently. So I think...
Oh, does it?
So I'm telling myself that, know what I mean? I'm telling myself that. Fuck, gets us after Viagra, know what I mean?
That's classy.
But aye, so what's your plans for the future then? You want to branch out? Obviously, right now you're property investing mostly, but is it all kind of UK investing? Is it just Scotland, or are you trying to take it overseas?
I don't want to go overseas, mate. Purely because I don't have the autonomy. I don't have contacts there. Like, I don't have knowledge. The property varies around the world in terms of legislation and processes and all
imagine.
that. I've never done any projects south of the border, but I would do if they arose. They would have to be particularly good, because I'd have to trust someone else to do them. Do you get what I mean? But we've got Young Entrepreneurs Scotland, which is soon to become Young Entrepreneurs Society. That is the actual name for it. So that's focusing on educating young people on specifically property now, but will be more so general financial education and entrepreneurship education and stuff. So that's something I really want to do. We're hosting those events in Glasgow just now. We've got a last one coming up in December. But for me, I want to see that around the UK next year. London, Manchester, Leeds, Belfast, into Dublin. Obviously, Ireland's not in the UK, but still over there as well. So I want to see that go everywhere. But the goals for me for my future is just always to continue developing as a man, as a son, a friend, like every aspect of my life, and also to continue developing financially as well. Like that's my kind of basic goals. Obviously, you break it down. I want to do this amount of projects and talk to. I want to meet this person next year. Or I want to blah 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 blah. All these different things. But for me, it's all about development. I think being a true entrepreneur is about dissatisfaction, and what I mean by that is, okay, I've hit this number, now what's next? You never stop and go, you know what?
Aye,
I'm done.
Aye, you're never
That's
content.
me, I've done it. I'm constantly dissatisfied. That doesn't mean I wake up miserable, going, oh, fucking hell, this is pish. But I'm constantly going, okay, that's nice, I've done that, what's next? What's next? What's next? Constantly try to get to that next level. That's kind of what my focus is. So, I mean, I don't tie myself down to a specific plan. The beauty of working for yourself and doing your own thing is that I, within reason, can kind of do what I want. Do you know what I mean? I can go, if I decided I want to go to Dubai for 6 months, I could go and do that. So I don't have these super strict plans, these super strict financial forecasts, which maybe is a downfall of mine. Maybe it's something I should do. But for me, it's just about consistently trying to get to the next level in every aspect of my life.
That's it. It's always aiming to be the better version of yourself, and it's one of the ones, you're never a finished product. Being a person yourself, and as you're talking about, you're always looking at the next hurdle, the next challenge.
Yep.
And that is it is to the day, and that is the exciting part of life, isn't it?
Exactly.
You're never truly finished, so it always does give you something to work on. Do you ever think about going into like construction and that kind of stuff, maybe like big projects and that kind of thing? That ever took your fancy?
I mean, as it stands, I prefer to outsource nearly everything that I do. So if I had something that was highly profitable, that needed ground up development, like for example, the biggest development we have at the moment is got a gross development value of just over £2 million. So I could subby that out and get it built and make, say, off the back of that, about 470 grand, right? Or I could sell the development with planning and make 280, 300 grand. Now cuts go, but you're missing it 175 grand or whatever. But I'm like, but I don't need to manage a building team. I don't need to wait all this time. I completely de-risk myself day one. Take that money and move on to the next project. So for me, do I have an interest in having a construction company? Not unless it directly correlates with what I'm trying to do property-wise. Unless I was going, oh my God, I've got 50 houses to build, and it was worth my while hiring staff and taking boys on PAYE, or like having my own squad of subbies and hiring a project manager and to manage them, then I would do it. But I don't have an interest in having a construction company unless it is fitting in what I'm trying to achieve.
Unless it ties in what you're
property-wise.
doing, it's no one of the kind of goals you set for yourself.
Exactly.
As in, see, you can imagine with a construction company, you know the construction game yourself, you've done it, it's all stress, and that never gets done when it's meant to get done.
Mate.
And it's just more money than it's meant to be, and it goes there and all that shit. It'd probably end up fucking losing money.
Exactly. And the thing is, I left the construction game, left being a spark, because it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. Why would I start a business around something?
Of course, it
do you
makes
get what I mean?
perfect-
The same
makes
way
perfect
people
sense.
go, oh Richard, if you're doing a project, do you rewire the house yourself? I'm like, no. Fuck.
Aye, I get away
Why
for
would
that
I?
to do this.
Exactly. Like, why would I have left something that I didn't want to do anymore to just keep doing it? Do you get what I mean?
Aye,
I'm like,
100%.
Nah, like, if there was money to be made, a specific opportunity, I would of course do it. Like, I wouldn't say no to something that was a money maker, but I'd have no passion, no desire to go, wow, I'm going to give my all to fucking construction, and fuck that.
Nah, fuck that,
Passion.
definitely, mate. It's a mug's game of construction. It's good for quick money, see, in terms of if I'm doing like labour on the scaffold, and I used to do it's quick money.
Is that what you're a scaffolder?
I was. I go to college now.
Oh yeah. Oh nice.
I just do music. I chucked it. I chucked the scaffold, and I was looking at guys all done this, all fucked, bones all fucked, and that, all moaning.
It's my dad now, man. His knees are fucked now. He's not even 50, man.
My dad, he's a scaffolder, so is my uncle's my brother. My dad's knees are fucked. My uncle, he's greeting, like, moaning and all that, and it's just. Nah, it was just pure sap energy, and I was like, right, I'm at a stage, I'm not getting any wains, I've got no commitments. I'm like, I could leave this and do something I want to do now, so I was like, fuck it.
That's why you went to the jail?
That's exactly it, mate. That's exactly that. Was the universe rewarding me for fucking chucking my jaw. But it's been good to have you on. Is there anything else you want to promote that? Any dates?
Nah. I mean, I like coming on this stuff just to chat, mate, and just
it's
that's
good.
The thing
You
I
feel
like
good after it, didn't you?
Exactly. I'm gonna start greeting now like Jim. But nah, I mean, fucking if you like entrepreneurial content, feel free to follow me. I don't push stuff pure hard online. I'm no here to fucking steal your granny's pension. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, if you like entrepreneurship stuff, you might like what I post. But at the end of the day, I just love having a chat with people and talking about fucking life and different shit, mate. The reason I like this one, like what you do specifically, the kind of premeditated part of the podcast, the reason I like that is because nearly everything I get asked on is strictly business.
Aye.
And what are you doing in business? What's this? What's that? I want to talk about seeing people getting hit with blades. Like, I kind of want to talk about.
I was glad we got into that story. They'd been gutted if you left that.
Do you know what I mean?
That was juicy.
I like telling that because it's a side of me that people probably don't see very often.
Aye,
so
it
I
kind of humanises you a bit.
Exactly.
See, compared to it's odd numbers, not. I mean, you actually see the human side, and plus, a lot of people, as you say, they probably think, oh, you've came for money, but actually, you came for fucking Pollokshields, and
mate,
the schemiest bit of Pollokshields you could probably find.
There's rumours, right, that my dad is like a scrap metal tycoon, like owns
Right.
scrappies, right? Which to me, I thought all scrappies were owned by travellers.
I was going to say gangsters.
I thought it was a travellers or gangs. I was like, right, we used to use the scrappies as in putting cable in, but we didn't. And then the other one, believe it or not, mate, people were saying that my dad created fuel smoothies.
Created what?
Fuel smoothies. See
Fuel smoothies?
the smoothie bars in Bray
Did
Head.
he?
Like,
That's
did
a gutter.
they
I wish that was true, man.
But people were saying, his dad created fuel
What the
smoothies.
fuck? Are the things to fucking make that fuel smoothies?
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's mental. That's what I
It
get.
sounds that. See, like that
That
direct,
out there.
it could be true. It's like how would somebody just pick that and make that up?
Weird, mate.
His dad made fuel smoothies.
Weird, mate. But, it's just... I'm just a fucking normal cunt, mate.
Yeah, you can tell.
That's
You
it, I'm
come
just a
across a
normal
genuine
cunt,
guy.
mate.
You know what I mean? You've done well for yourself. You've just got the right mindset on. I think it's all envy and jealousy. It's social media. People don't want to see legit, decent people doing well. They want to see the scumbags so they can go, he's a scumbag.
Do well, just not as good as me. That's Glasgow, mate.
That's it, mate.
Glasgow.
That's it. It's social media now. It's poisonous as fuck, man.
I know, man. Fucking brutal.
Just try to find your moments, have a laugh and that shit. That's why I did this. As I say, just have a fucking informal chat and just talk shit.
Exactly, mate. And you get to see the real sides of people. People open up more on stuff like this as well. Do you know what I mean? Like guys like fucking Ravy Davey and all these different people. Like, and I watched him on Evan Riley's thing,
Riley gaff.
and that was class. Like watching his thing, because see the whole one of my good mates, Kieran, who's from Des Moines, his brother Scott is like one of the guys at ICW and like knows Davey well and all that. And I would have never have. I knew for TikTok and that looking that Davey's a mad cunt, right? And I've commented in some of his videos. He's never get back to me. So if you're watching this, you fucking better reply to me.
I'll say to him. I'll message him now.
No, I message him saying, "You do wrestling, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you think you could out grapple me?" And an actual, I don't. If there was a table ladders and chairs match, you'd do me right. But all I'm saying is, how good is your actual submission grappling in terms of in a submission wrestling rule set? Out of curiosity, I'm just wondering, right? But he's never get back to me, so he's obviously fair. But but see his story, getting to see that story. You wouldn't have got that on a wrestling podcast.
I know.
Or what he's known for. He's known for wrestling and fucking now Davey's Rotten Food Reviews and you guys are doing stuff together and that. That's what he's known for. So if he went on something that was like a fucking comedy food show, he wouldn't have get to talk about that stuff. And the raw shit, like cunts dying and that, he wouldn't have been able to get that. So see this kind of platform, mate, that's what it's needed for cunts to actually open up and be raw and real, man. Just cut the shit and talk about life. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, because it's social media, as you say. It's a lot of it is just a facade. Even if you're a real cunt, but if you're not on it, you're on it for a specific thing. Say if I'm doing the comedy shit, know what I mean? There's a full other side to me but you're only just seeing me just try to be a dick.
Aye.
Try to be a funny dick, know what I
Aye.
mean? Just being a fucking pure mongo. I've no mongo, but I'll edit that out. I'll just go pee.
I nearly said retard earlier on,
For
mate, so I
fuck's
was
sake,
like-
I just fucked it for myself. Just been an absolute idiot. IDIOT. But
IDIOT. I was making
I
sure
got
you
it.
spelled that
Fuck,
right.
I'd have been an
Fuck.
idiot. I should have spelled that wrong here, and that would have
Aye.
fucking probably bolstered my claim, get a bit of sympathy, you know what I mean?
Oh, Christ.
But anyway, Richard's been amazing to have you, man.
Class, mate. Thank you.
for coming,
Thanks
mate.
for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
Amazing, mate. Catch you later, troops.
Peace.
Premeditated party.